Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Pro Crastinators interview series, the one that's been on hold for 6 months.
Forever?
Yeah, after a mere 5 episodes, but we're back.
Hey.
For some reason, that reason being, we've got a new member of the Pro Crastinators podcast
Whoa.
who's interested in being interviewed.
Is it Sheepover?
No, Sheepover.
Is it Psy?
Sheepover declined to...
Is it King Critic? Who could it be?
Oh, man. 3 hours with King Critic. Can you imagine? No, it's Mumkey Jones.
Mumkey Jones. Oh, look at that audio clip. There we go.
Maybe I'll turn it back down. There we are. So, Mumkey, what is it that made you want to be a part of this little club? This
oh man,
this little gay ass internet arrangement.
So clearly, I didn't have the same background as you guys did. You guys all met with your pony days and all that shit, and that's kind of pretty much everything you guys represent is what I set out to humiliate and destroy.
Yeah.
So I was as surprised of being invited as I was that you guys even liked me in the first place.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I after finding out who you guys were and being invited to be on episode 30, I think that was the empathy episode, I watched most of your guys' stuff, and I liked the vast majority of it, and I thought you guys were all cool guys, and I thought, you know, I'm more than flattered that they like me too, so hell yeah, let's get on board with this shit.
Yeah. From our perspective, it was like, from the very first time I saw your videos, I was like, well, this guy's clearly coming from a similar angle to us, but like, you know, we didn't know who you were, and then after, it's one of those things where it's kind of the way that people have gotten into the PCP. This is why there's this weird misconception that you can just join the PCP by having good enough videos.
Which you can. Please send all of your amateur videos to Digibro. It's digitalboyreviews@gmail.com.
Like, the general way that the PCP formed was by all of us being big fans of one another. And with Mumkey, it was just kind of a case that not only did you clearly like all of our videos and all of us like yours.
Most.
Yeah. Well, we like
I've seen Ben's work and I'm not impressed.
Initially, it was just Jesse who found you, and then he
God
showed you to
bless
me.
him.
And I when I find a YouTuber who makes like one video I like, I watch all of their catalog. So as soon as he showed me the BGOT video, I watched like every Mumkey video on Earth.
Because I had like a new video every day at some point.
So I watched all of it, and I was like, well, yeah, this guy's really cool. And I really enjoyed the Nuzlocke series because I'd never seen such a like high production Let's Play before.
Hey. That was me attempting to emulate the style of Pro Jared because I really liked his Nuzlocke series, but I think I did it better than him, even though he's like a big
it helps
shot.
that you're funny.
Yeah, and his
Pro Jared is a total norm.
His audio mixing. We don't need to go too deep into this because I know how much you love talking about audio mixing, but it's hard to hear him because he has the game volume
too loud,
louder than him. So it's like, oh god, this is a struggle to get through because I can't hear half the shit he's saying.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do any audience interaction. He's like makes up sounds. And I'm like, okay, I can take his formula and perfect it, get some audience interaction with the names, polish up the sound a little bit more, even though in the Fire Red days I was using like a shit microphone, but I still think it was better than his. You know.
I mean, this is somewhere that me and Endless Jess don't quite see eye to eye on, is that I really like the audience interaction aspect.
Oh, he doesn't like it?
He just
hates the audience.
Yeah, he hates the idea of interacting with the audience and letting them get away with being a bunch of idiots, which you kind of do. Which if I handled it, I wouldn't handle it the way you do.
What do I do?
I would have audience interaction, but it would be on my terms. You kind of let the audience run wild and say whatever they want. And
you mean like when in the Nuzlocke? What do you mean?
Well, I just mean in general, like you interact with your audience a lot, but regardless of what they say, you will interact with it. Like if they shit talk you, you'll still put that in a video.
That's funny.
Like for me, I love having discussions and stuff, but like if someone's just talking shit, I'll just ban them, you know, and then like I'll promote and it's about cultivating your audience. Like what you want them to be like is how you sort of promote them, but you've kind of let yours just run free and do whatever they want.
I think it's because you and I are making very different types of content.
Yeah.
Mine are very much the like this is the wild west of the internet where anything goes, and I'm gonna say the edgiest, most offensive, racist things I can think of. I'm gonna make fun of everybody,
Right.
no holds barred. Whereas you're like, you know what? Let's analyze this show and appreciate it or hate it. So it makes sense that I would want more of a wild west. The internet is a hellhole sort of comment section, whereas you would want a thoughtful discussion of Soul Eater.
Yeah. Hey, Soul Eater's cool.
Yeah,
You said it in a cool way. It made me excited.
It's cool.
I'm a baby. I'm 12. Anyways, so you've got a very active comment section. I imagine
it's my favorite comment section.
I imagine that your audience interaction is heavily inspired by the Biggest Problem in the Universe podcast.
Oh, sure, I could see that.
Yeah.
They would always bring in voicemails of people shitting on them, and it was the funniest stuff.
Yeah, and that's like I always wanted to get more in on that, but it doesn't fit my, again, like you just said, we're doing very different kinds of content, and like for me, if I tried to make a video like one of yours, it would just be weird, you know, like
on the main channel, for sure.
Like it wouldn't inspire the same kind of interactions that yours would. Whereas, like, with Maddox, he's kind of had that character for so long that it was, like, you know, people were talking to him the same way they would have on the old website. And, you know, I remember one of the early videos I saw from you was the Mumkey's Anime Reviews,
when I review myself.
Yeah, but you cite all these things that you've been ripping off, and a lot of them were stuff that I also was a fan of, and I was like, when I saw a fucking Biggest Problem, not only that you put in Maddox, but also Dick Masterson, I think, and I was just like, oh my god, this dude knows his shit.
Yeah.
And to touch on that a little, I mean,
I want to touch on everything a little bit.
This is breaching away from just you personally, but you are like one of the only people I know who got into Biggest Problem via Dick Masterson.
That's right.
And what's the deal with that? Why how'd you find him?
So I was on poll one day. The best 4chan board. Okay, let's go back in time about 10 years. When I was a sophomore in high school,
10 years?
Oh, well, let's go back in time about 6-7 years. I would have been like 15 or 16. So yeah, about 5 years. I found the Dr. Phil clip, the infamous "Men Are Better Than Women" with Dick Masterson on Dr. Phil. And I was really inspired. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I bought the book. And then in my sophomore year, you always have to do those book projects in high school. Like, read a book and write a letter to the author or write a 3-page report. So I did mine over Men Are Better Than Women by Dick Masterson. But little 15, 16-year-old Mumkey didn't know it was satire. I thought it was a real, like, guy. Yeah. I was like, "What? This guy has the coolest name ever. It's perfect."
Yeah.
So I wrote this. The letter I wrote to the author was kind of satire because I just wanted to piss off my teacher because she was a hardcore, like, feminist, you know, feminazi bitch. So I was like, okay, I'm going to write a letter to the author praising his genius piece of work, Men Are Better Than Women. Yeah. So then, that's the end of that. You know, Dick really didn't put out anything else that I could find. Did you not
get any trouble for that essay?
She thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she has a sense of humor, at least.
Mine would not have.
No.
my also feminist AP English teacher.
You probably would have gotten sent to the guidance counselor.
Again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
But then fast forward, I guess, 3 or 4 years later, because I couldn't find anything else from Dick. The character disappeared, and he went off, and Dax did his own thing. But then I'm on poll, and I see there's a whole thread about how Dick Masterson just did a podcast episode about SJWs, and I'm thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What? That's a dream come true. So, of course, I clicked the link, and there we go. It's like, episode 50-something of Biggest Problem. I'm like, holy shit, this is a gold mine. There's a whole Dick Masterson podcast. I didn't know who Maddox was. Yeah. I'd never heard of him up until that point. Haven't even seen him at that point. So I go listen to the back catalog. It's the best podcast I've ever heard. So yeah, I joined it. I started listening because of my love of Dick, and then I grew to love Maddox, and now... Like it's a full circle of
it's a parabola.
Sure, it's a roller coaster because you go on the ride, but you end at the same place you get on.
Yeah. So you took a lot of influence from that podcast in the way you interact with fans, reading comments on the show, allowing lots of shit posting. It's a shame you don't have a voicemail.
Yeah,
perfect.
that'd be fun. If people sent me like a SoundCloud of them shitting on me, I'd probably do an episode about it. It'd be fun.
I've always thought it's interesting how you take it kind of to the next level, and that you've had people just outright make videos on your channels. Like, what is the deal with Baku Boys and all that shit? Like, how does that come to pass?
Baku Boys in particular is just somebody who, over the last year of me doing this with an audience, he's just like somebody who became my friend, and he wanted to do a parody of my parody show, which was just like this unwatchable garbage of a parody anime review.
Yeah.
And Mumkey Jones too, my second channel, which used to be my main channel until it got striked, and I was like, nope, I'm not putting up with this. Time to start over. And now that the strikes are gone, Mumkey Jones 2 is my designated shitposting channel, and I just straight up said, anybody can send me anything, and I'll put it on this channel. I don't care. So that's how we get the Cream Man Nuzlocke Let's Plays. We get Baku Boys terrible reviews. There's all kinds of fun stuff on there. Because, I mean, it's just a shitpost channel.
Right.
You know? It's fun.
Yeah. So, how many YouTube channels have you had?
Oh, God. Like, my whole life?
Because
Infinite number.
I was talking to Jess about you, and he was saying something about you being fairly new, and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure Mumkey Jones is like not even close to your first YouTube channel.
No.
It's just the first one that's gotten popular. So what is the first YouTube channel you ever made? What year and what was on it?
First one I made was when I was 11, so actually 10 years ago, and it was called Nubs because my nickname in, I guess, middle school was Nubs, because I would pull my arm inside of my shirt and then just stick out the elbow. So it was like I was a war veteran who got his arm chopped off. So everybody called me Nubs back in the day.
Have you ever not been a human shitpost?
I don't think so. I would get in trouble all the time in elementary school. My whole life I've always gotten in trouble for just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But
for being what we in professional circles refer to as a little shit.
Yep. Well, I mean, some people seem to like it.
Yeah.
And on that channel, my mom had like a shitty little tiny picture camera, but it could also record videos. So I'd have my little brother Patchy, who would have been 8 or 9 at the time, record me doing like Chris Angel Mind Freak parodies. Where
I see.
And I was also a fan of the movie Super Size Me with Morgan Spurlock, where he eats McDonald's every day for 30 days. I started doing parodies of that, where I would like drink milk for 30 days or be trapped in my bedroom closet for 30 days. But I mean, obviously it's fake. I'm just doing it all in the same day. So
these all sound genius. How watchable are they?
They're not. They're awful. I don't think they exist anymore, because that channel. So this is the first time I got a channel taken down.
Okay.
I
assume for copyright reasons.
Well.
or possibly community guidelines violations.
So I was 13 at the time. I'm 2 years deep into this channel. Got just tons of horrible, unwatchable garbage on there that I would relentlessly like post all over the internet because I wanted to become YouTube famous, as all 11-year-olds tend to do.
Yeah.
Thank God.
This is 2007, right?
Yeah.
Or well, now that you're 13, it's 2009. So like YouTube celebrity is not really a thing yet.
No.
It's just that we knew there were some videos that were big.
Like, that was back when Little Karibo and AVGN were celebrities, and they had like 40,000 subs.
Yeah, and they weren't even really on YouTube at the beginning.
Yeah, they had their own websites. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew both of them at the time, but I didn't associate them with YouTube at all. Or I also didn't think they made money. I didn't think anybody was making money doing this until Game Grumps revealed that they were making money in the first episode.
Shit. So here's how the channel got taken down. This is how the downfall of Nubs. There's this video I found. I don't remember what it was called, but the premise is that they have an Elmo toy. And this, like, a professional film company made this video for their channel. Okay. And it's called, like... It's like Elmo's a pimp. And Elmo's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna bitch slap a hoe. I'm Elmo. It's like that kind of thing. So what I did was I downloaded their video And then I uploaded it on my channel, and I called it Elmo's a Pimp in all caps, and it got like a good amount of views.
So you just straight freebooted their video.
So then the company...
Why did you think that was okay?
No, this is not the end of my hubris, my friend.
God.
So the company very politely just sends me a YouTube message saying, "Hey, this is our video. Can you take it down?" And I'm thinking,
"Oh my God, this must be like way before the whole Content ID days."
Way back in the day. But
I can't even imagine a company politely messaging me to take my video down today.
Believe it or not, I did not take advantage of their kind-hearted gesture, because I replied,
I'm ready.
I'm like, "Hey, this is a good opportunity for me." I said, "How about you make a video like making fun of me or something?" You know?
Oh, I see. You tried to game them back.
Yep.
All right.
And then the next day, my channel was deleted. So
wow,
didn't work.
Yeah,
that's a little shit when I was 13.
That was a foolish endeavor all around, I would say.
So all those videos are gone.
Why, in the first place, did you think it would be a good idea to re-upload their video?
Because I was like 12.
You just thought, like, it's popular, so I'll also get...
Yeah, you know,
what
why
even could you rip it with back then? Did they have YouTube rips, like, websites?
They must have. We had something.
Huh. Yeah, well... So that's your first channel, dead.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you didn't have any side channels at the time. It was just that one.
I didn't need any side channels because nobody was watching.
So what's the next channel you make?
Then I guess in high school I had one that still exists, but once Mumkey got big, I changed the name and I put all the videos on private, and so all these videos are still out there, and I can post them sometime, just not yet. I'm biding my time for these ones. But these ones, maybe there's some that are watchable, you know?
What kind of videos are they?
Like sketch comedy kind of stuff. I've talked about this other places, but we did a kind of a game show based off of Impractical Jokers, and kind of like based off of Jackass, called Challenge Showdown, where my group of friends, each episode one of them would be randomly picked to do a crazy challenge, like chug five-hour energies at the same time, or go into Walmart and throw spaghetti all over the cash register person.
Now, how bad is the production quality of this shit? Are we talking like barely audible wind noise everywhere?
Most of it was filmed indoors, so it's not too bad.
Wait, one of them threw spaghetti at a cashier.
Yeah, that's inside Walmart. We were filming inside the store.
Oh my God! You didn't get in trouble for that one?
No, we left. We ran out.
Wow. Well, so okay, you had this that show, then just sketch comedy.
Yeah, I had a sketch show. I started a film club in my school because I wanted people to make videos with me, because nobody really wanted to. I was the only guy in the whole school making videos. So I started a film club, and the show I started using the people who joined the film club was called Family Sitcom. I wanted to call it Family Shitcom, but it was associated with the school, so I couldn't. And the idea was every week I wanted to have a new sketch out, and I did that for about two months. And some of those are pretty golden, actually. Some of them I consider to be like the best things I've made.
So you've always been pretty prolific.
Yeah, I've tried to keep myself to a schedule.
Yeah, because I think it's the most important thing about like building up skill is to work fast and get lots of stuff out there, and it's especially important when you're young. Like you build up that speed and that stamina, and then you never quite lose it. It's like once you've done a video every week, then you now know that that's a thing you can do, you know? So then going into the future, you are always like, well, I know I did that before, so I know it's possible, you know?
And something that pisses me off is I'll always see comments about like, "Oh, Mumkey, it should be quality over quantity." And I'm like, bitch, fuck it, they're quality and they're quantity. Yeah. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can, like, if someone only gets out one video every 6 months, and it's extremely high quality, but you get out a video every week and at least 1 out of 4 is extremely high quality, who's got the better channel?
Yeah, I would rather watch a weekly show that's like a 6 out of 10 than watch one episode of a 10 out of 10 show that comes out once a year. That's just me. I can see why people wouldn't like that as much, but I'd rather just have more consistent shows.
Yeah. It's helpful for... I mean, it works well with what YouTube is now, which is a replacement for television.
Yeah.
You know, no one's watching TV. We need something to be like. We need a constant drip feed of YouTube content to replace. You know, like to fill in our day. And like, as much as I, love those 10 out of 10 videos, and I can go back and watch them again. It's like this isn't helping me on the daily grind of my life.
Right.
Where I need there to be a certain number of hours of YouTube content every day. Which for me, I don't get enough of it from other people, so I just make it myself.
Yeah, you have to make your own videos.
Yeah,
I think I heard that Digibro just watches his own videos all day because they're so good. I heard that somewhere. I don't know where.
That's not true at all. But so what do you watch? Because you, in spite of making a channel called Mumkey's Anime Reviews, you don't really watch much anime.
No.
And you've indicated a few times that you don't watch a whole lot of YouTube. It doesn't seem like.
No.
So like what do you spend your time on? What do Mumkeys get down to?
Most of my day is just spent sitting there wishing I had something to do. I've said this a million times. The best treatment for depression is distractions, and I think my problem is I keep running out of distractions, and that's why I always feel so depressed all the time.
That's precisely why, up until you come, like, all I've been looking forward to all month is you coming here today.
Hey!
And then me planning what I'm gonna do for the next month and a half, because I've been depressed for most of this year so far, and the only thing that's gonna get me out of
that Donald Trump election, man, really got to you.
I didn't even care about that. But I've been depressed for most of the year, and like it's mostly because there's not enough to do. Sitting around in your room, even if you run out of YouTube videos, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're just like, well, I don't know what else I'm supposed to be doing right now. And watching anime is too tied to work for me, so it's not as relaxing as it should be.
You can't just sit there and watch it. You have to analyze everything.
Yeah.
You can't turn your brain off.
Even if I could, I just feel like it's all tied to work somehow, But I'm like, I need to get out of the house or just hang out with other people. And I'm like, well, at least I'll know that the weekend that Mumkey's at my house, I won't be depressed because we'll be doing things. We'll just occupy our time. And the best part is I don't have to look at Twitter. I don't have to look at my YouTube comments because I don't need something to distract me. From what's going on.
And Twitter and comments are just gonna make you more depressed.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, the only reason to look at them is that you have nothing better to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I would never go on Twitter at all if I had anything to do. But because I don't, I'll just sit there and read people talking shit about me all day and getting more and more angry and making more and more drunken rants, all because I'm too bored. And I don't have enough to do. But I'm certainly not thinking about shitty commenters while we're doing a podcast, aside from the fact that I'm referring to them.
Right.
So, all right, we kind of got off away from your YouTube videos. I still want to know more about your other channels. So you've got the one that's all set to private right now. What came next after that?
Then came the Mumkey and Big Show, which is what got this whole Mumkey thing started, which was just a shitty Let's Play channel with me and my old pal Biggs, who has appeared in a few anime reviews.
And a lot of drunk Minecraft.
Yeah. He came back from the Let's Play show, and I've told this story a million times, but I'm sure somebody doesn't know it. But the gist is, me and Biggs did a YouTube Let's Play channel for about 2 years. Then I started making the anime reviews just because I was bored and I thought it'd be funny. And so the first one was Girls Bravo, and then like 7 months later came the Death Note one, and then 5 months later came the Yamada one, and then like half a year after that is when the Yamada video went viral for the first time, got a shit ton of views, and I was like, okay, finally something, people like it.
Right, so wait, which channel was this all on?
This is on the Mumkey and Big Show.
Okay, so the original post of Mumkey and Big's show, which was mostly a Let's Play channel that just had a few anime reviews spliced in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point, we got a bunch of subscribers on the Mumkey and Big Show, but I knew, well, when we upload more Let's Plays, they're going to leave. They don't want to watch this shit.
Right.
So I made a new channel called Mumkey's Anime Reviews, and that's where that started. And I started making anime reviews on the weekly.
So how much did the Yamada video blow up on the Mumkey and Big show? Like, what view count were we talking?
Like 400,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So huge deal.
So you can imagine my sadness when Biggs makes the decision to delete the channel without like asking me, or he could have just quit being on it, but no, he had to delete it. And YouTube, of course, the great company that they are, if a channel gets deleted for any reason, they're not gonna give it back to you.
Christ.
So my big viral video gone forever.
Yeah, that's a serious fucking view count.
Yeah,
400,000.
Yeah.
What was your subscriber total on that channel?
I think it peaked at like 1,000.
Okay, so the viralness did not attract subscribers because most of the channel was Let's Play.
When they saw it was a Let's Play channel, I imagine they scurried away.
So how many, what was the frequency of uploads of these Let's Plays, and what games and stuff?
So this is when I got real serious about doing a schedule. And for a long time, the Mumkey and Big Show, for almost an entire year, we had 2 new videos a day.
Oh my god.
We had
the full Game Grumps.
Yeah.
I've heard parts of the story, but I didn't realize that the Mumkey and Big Show had been around for so long and had so many videos. This was like a serious, full-blown channel.
Yes.
That Biggs deleted.
Yes. That's why it was so devastating.
And you didn't kill him.
I almost did. I didn't talk to him for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have even talked to him ever again. But
did he ever apologize?
Of course not. Of course fucking not.
Fucking piece of shit.
He still thinks he's justified to this day.
Why did he delete it? What was his reason?
Because now that we had an audience and we were averaging about 100 views per Let's Play episode, and I was like, oh yeah, people are actually watching. So Biggs took it upon himself to actually, because I would edit and upload every single video,
right?
And my internet was shit, so it would take me like 3 hours to upload each video, living out in the boonies. Yeah. So I said, hey, Biggs, can you edit these and upload them? All you have to do is watch them and make sure we don't say each other's names, and if we do, edit it out and then upload it. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. Three days would go by, he wouldn't upload a video, so I'd be pestering him on the text, yo, dude, you missed the upload again today, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Doesn't do it. I keep pestering him, he's like, oh, fine, if you think I'm so lazy, I'll just delete it. Oh, what? And surely enough, it was gone. Yeah, that's the and that's one of the best friends I've ever had, Digi. One of the best friends I've ever had deleted my viral video. Yeah.
Biggs, you are a human waste.
Yeah.
I hope you get diabetes and die.
I think he hopes that too. So you're singing him praises as far as he's concerned.
All right, so Mumkey and Biggs gets deleted. Where do we go from here?
So now I still have the Mumkey's Anime Reviews channel, which luckily a lot of people had already switched over to.
Right.
But now I have to find a way to get all those views back on the Yamada video.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen for quite a few months, but at some point it does go viral on Reddit again. So this is the second time the same video goes viral and gets on the front page of Reddit.
Unbelievable luck that happened.
It's happened like 3 times total. So
yeah.
it was luck the first time.
I mean, it's just, I guess that video is just that good.
I guess so.
I mean, it's a lot like, I had a similar experience with my Why Good Anime is Hard to Make video, where that one went viral when it came out and got up to 300,000 views, and then a full year later it just suddenly rocketed up to 1 million, and I have no idea why still. I don't know where
you don't know where it was posted.
No. Huh. No idea. I don't know if it was posted in a place or if it just got caught up, because it was like I hit 100,000 subscribers, and right after that happened, all my videos started getting a lot more views.
Oh, shit.
As though I think YouTube starts promoting you more once you hit 100K.
I need to hit 100K.
It takes you more seriously as a channel, and so it puts you in the algorithm more. And so that video just caught a second wind and fucking wildfire.
And blew up the channel?
Yeah. So I gained it was like I hit 100K after a slow, steady build up, and then the next 30K in a week.
God damn. Well, I hope that happens to me. I can't wait. It sounds great. What were you about to say?
You're continuing your story. You've got Mumkey's Anime Reviews.
Yeah. Okay. So it blows up again, and I'm ecstatic.
So what kind of blow up are we talking about this time?
I'm getting 1 new subscriber, I think, every 10 seconds.
Jesus.
And this happens for a full night. So I wake up the next morning and it's thousands higher than it was when I went to bed, and it's still growing and growing and growing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. I gotta make videos.
I meant how many views does this second Yamada video end up?
They always end up with 500,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So
3 times this video has reached 500,000.
And this motherfucker, Flutterbutter, who God bless him because he Patreoned me at $50 per month for a long time to make up for this, when he found it the first time, he took my Yamada video and put it on his Facebook account without any link to my YouTube or anything.
So freebooted it.
Yeah, like, who would do such a thing? Who would just download somebody else's hard work video and upload it as if they made it? Like, I can't think of a bigger scumbag.
Do you know that term, freebooting?
No, I mean, I can assume what it means.
Yeah, well, it was coined specifically to refer to the Facebook because there's tons of people who do this, who take YouTube videos, re-upload them to Facebook with like the identifier scrubbed off, and they go viral there because it's easier on Facebook. It happened to Jesse with Fuck Updates.
Oh,
where Fuck
that video
Updates,
has a lot of views anyway, though.
It has like 100,000 on YouTube. It has millions on Facebook from people's freebooting.
Hey, I was gonna say my Yamada video on Flutterbutter's Facebook got 2 million views, and I was flabbergasted.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm imagining all the ad revenue I missed out on.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Is the ad revenue you missed
hey,
out
Flutterbutter, thanks for, I guess, the $250 you gave me on Patreon.
Did he make money off of the Facebook upload?
I have no idea. I don't care. I really don't care. I just wanted the subscribers.
Yeah. So you're now gaining subs on Mumkey's anime reviews.
At this point, my channel... So my channel has 2 strikes on it because I made a review of Boku no Pico where I made no effort to censor anything.
Yeah.
Because I thought that the anime having a pixelated penis was enough censorship.
No.
It turns out it's not.
Even close.
So that's strike number 1. Strike number 2.
Not to mention there's like cum everywhere.
Well, I mean, I said in the review that it was like ice cream or something, so I thought it was okay.
No, not happening.
So you think I would learn my lesson? No. Because then, strike number 2, I make Boku no Pico abridged.
Oh no.
Which is currently still uploaded on my Facebook page if you're curious to see it. Again, that gets blown the fuck out. They're like, nope, strike 2. Now my channel is blowing up, and I think, okay.
These are community guideline strikes, by the way, which are much harder to beat back than Content ID. Because they usually... I've had a couple of them on totally innocuous videos that still managed to... I couldn't get them back. Like, I couldn't beat the claims.
What were they saying was wrong with it?
One was on a video about a pony ask blog called Ask Princess Molestia. And there was a huge... like.
Well, I wonder why they took it down.
Well, the thing is, none of the imagery was actually, like, 18 plus or anything. But this is how I found out about SJWs, because there was a huge SJW screed against that blog, and they got it taken off of Tumblr. They got Tumblr, a website full of porn, to take down Ask Princess Molestia because they were offended about it.
I think there was an Internet Aristocrat video about this very thing.
Possibly.
I distinctly remember something about that.
But yeah, they got that blog taken down, and then they got my video taken down about the blog. So so I got a guideline strike on that, contested it, didn't win. The next one I got, this one's just utter bullshit, was for a review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that there was literally, I have no idea. I think someone just had it out for me and got a guideline strike on it, and yeah, it just went down. And then I think I did beat that one, but it took a while, and it was just like... Yeah, guideline strikes are hard to beat. They're a pain in the ass.
Well, I didn't get an opportunity to try to fight the third one, because once you hit strike 3, you're out. You don't even get a chance to say, hey, wait, no, you took this down wrong. So when I see them blowing up, I think, okay, I got to make a new video right now to celebrate all these new subs. So I wanted to make a satirical video mocking how... like porn on YouTube, and people are always looking for porn on YouTube. Right. And if you're... Like I had it on the Let's Play series. There was we're doing Mega Man Legends 2, and at the time each episode had like maybe 20 views, but then there was one that had like a kind of a pornographic name, and it had like 10 times the views.
Right.
So that was my inspiration. Like, why the fuck? It says Mega Man Legends Let's Play episode 14, like roll hentai or something. Why does this have so many more views? Why are these idiots clicking on this?
Yeah.
Why are they searching for this on YouTube? Yeah. So the whole video was making fun of kind of that idea. But I think where I fucked up was that the title of the video, to play into the satire, was all caps, hentai porn XXX, YouTube naked girls boobs, blah, blah, blah. So I think that just hit the computer, the system. They're like, oh, take it down. Like, there's no way. Computers don't understand satire, I guess. Yeah. So they see that title and they take it down.
It's also that misleading titles are against the YouTube product.
It wasn't misleading. It's a satirical thing, right? I would argue
you'd have
for
to
it.
argue against YouTube about that, but you didn't get the chance.
Yeah,
'cause
I
of
didn't get
strike
the
3.
chance. So they take down the video, and now I have no YouTube channel. They're all gone. So when I make the new one, all the old fans have to somehow come back and find me because I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Facebook or anything at that point. Or maybe I had started the Facebook, maybe. But yeah, so I have to pretty much start from scratch again, and all the fans have to find me again. I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there who just forgot about me and never bothered to find me again, which is so disappointing and sad.
That's why I keep like the reason I have so many social media accounts everywhere is for this exact reason that like there's always people who won't. I mean, there's people still who watch all of my main channel videos and somehow don't know about Digibro After Dark or the Twitter or something like even though I mentioned it like every video I make. But there's always someone who's discovering it for the first time. But like for me, it's just I just need there to be. It's like a like one of those ancient demons where as long as 1% of it survives, the rest can grow back. You know, that's how I feel. Like as long as there's some people who know who I am, I can grow back. So if the YouTube channel goes, oh, at least I've got the Twitter guys. Yeah. They'll follow me to the next channel, and that channel will grow on its own. You know, but you were kind of up shit creek with literally no paddle.
Had nothing. So that's when what is now Mumkey Jones 2. That's when I made that channel. Which was just called Mumkey Jones at the time because I dropped the name Mumkey's Anime Reviews in favor of Mumkey Jones. I think that's what happened. This is all a blur in my head over the last year. But then, of course, I start getting strikes on this channel, too. So I'm like, fuck it, we're starting over again, boys!
Yeah.
So I make the new Mumkey Jones channel, switch the old one to, it was called Too Damn Mumkey, as a reference to Filthy Frank's shitpost channel.
Yeah. And it was called this for a while. When I followed you, it was still called Too Damn
It was called that for about half a year, I think. And then I decided, let's just make it 2. People are too confused by what it means, and I'm tired of explaining it. And then all the strikes, cleared off, and now I have... all 4 of these channels.
So this is why if you go all the way back through Mumkey Jones 2, some of the anime reviews are there.
Yeah.
Some of the early ones.
When I made the new channel, I just reposted all of the anime reviews again. Yeah. I think there were like 10 up to that point.
So the current Mumkey's anime reviews, Yamada's first time blows up a 3rd time.
Yeah.
This video has saved your life. Countless times. Because if not for it blowing up again, you would still be in the situation if no one knows where you are. I'd
probably still be at like 500 subs at this point. But yeah, it keeps blowing up, and then that gives people opportunities to find other videos that have potential for blowing up. Like the Elliot Roger video has been posted in some subreddits. The Incels video gets posted to Incels like every week.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. I knew it was gonna happen.
How do they feel about it?
For the most part, they think it's funny. But they're like, "Oh, he's misrepresenting us."
Of course.
And I'm like, dude, I just took posts from here.
Yeah, literal quotes from you guys.
But I mean, I did go out of my way to find the funny stuff.
Right,
so,
of course.
I mean, I don't know.
The concept alone is hilarious. So.
And the Corey in the House video has been posted some places because it's my second most viewed video, I think. Which I think it should be first. I think it's way better than Yamada. But I just have a personal preference for Elliot Roger stuff.
I think the Yamada one it's one of my favorites on your channel just because it's got that it's such a clear line. There's no like most of your videos are they go in a lot of different directions. Yamada is just one tension build the whole way through. It's just like starts off seeming one way, then it starts to lean, it just keeps leaning further and further until it just falls right off a cliff, and that's what's so great about it.
And people say, why don't you make more videos like Yamada? You need to keep making, like, this is the video everybody likes, but I feel like I can't.
No, because it's not duplicatable.
No, you can't, and it'll be so obvious that, he's just doing Yamada again. Yeah. Like, you can't please these fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well, that's what people people who aren't creative don't understand that, like...
You can't just make Yamada again.
Yeah, you can't just fucking recreate the same thing, and it's gonna be obvious, and it's never gonna top it, No.
Like, because now everybody's expecting it, so the joke doesn't work.
Like, if it was already... Like, it'd be one thing if you made a video that wasn't super successful, but it was a good idea, and then you iterated on that and made a better version. But if it was already a huge success... There's no topping it.
There's no surprise anymore.
Yeah, like we already have the Yamada video. It's already done the rounds. Now it's
several rounds.
Now it's time for something else to do the rounds.
Right.
Can I find another video that is not the same but will also become a huge hit? Oh Jesus. So all right. that about capitalize your whole YouTube history, right? Do you have any other channels we should know about? I mean, we've got the new gaming channel.
Yeah. So, well, that's another sad tale of a co-host that didn't work. But it started off as Mumkey and Manimal's Gaming Expedition. And I tested the waters on the main Mumkey Jones channel with my Fire Red Nuzlocke Let's Play. And, a fair number of people have liked it. So I said, okay, well, I'll do a separate channel so that your feed... Most people just want the anime reviews. Let's not clog up their feed with 3 times a week a Pokemon Let's Play.
Yeah.
I'll do a new channel with it. And my buddy Manimal, he's been wanting to do video game review videos for years. And he keeps talking about how he's going to start his own video game review channel. I said, dude... Like, you can join up with me. We're good, but we're like best buds at this point. I'll give you a free audience of 1,000 people. You're gonna this great opportunity that most new content creators don't get.
Yeah.
You can just I'll give you my audience.
You have the exact mindset I do, Mumkey. That's just what I've told so many of like Victor or other friends of mine, where I'm just like, you don't understand that if you make anything and I like it and I can promote it, you're in the door.
Yeah.
Like Shade is a music producer. Like, he's made hundreds of dollars just because he makes beats for me, and I'm already famous. So people will buy my album because I'm Digibro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Shade, all you have to do is make, like, no other musician gets this opportunity to just make money just because you're tied to this other guy, but it's totally worth it because you can launch a career out of it. If people like your beats, they're going to want to hire you, to do more. So, and that's what I've been trying to convince Victor for years to become a YouTuber. He just doesn't have a good idea for what he wants to do with it.
Isn't it weird how frustrating it is that nobody wants to take advantage of you?
Yeah.
And I don't say that with like any irony or anything. I want my friends to take advantage of me so that they can be making things with me. Like, Cobb always wanted to make videos with me. He made a lot of videos with me back in the day. And I'm, Cobb, hey, I got, 10,000 subs. Let's make some stuff together. People will watch it. I don't know. I
think a part of the problem is that, like, it's so hard to convince people that it can take off. Because, like for instance, on Digibros, it's a Let's Play channel that for a very long time we didn't take seriously at all. It was just for fun. And I would have my friends and stuff on there. And I would always be like, guys, like, if we want to take this seriously, this channel can take off and it can become a job. But no one would ever do it because they just don't see it. Even though I'm standing here with a 300,000 subscriber channel going, I know it's possible. I even know how to do it, But it's just a matter of, like, convincing people, like, hey, I know that this seems like it won't work out, and for a year it's going to seem that way, but eventually it will take off,
I think it revealed to me that there is a very clear distinction between those who are consumers and those who are creators.
Yeah,
and I think it takes a very particular type of person to be an actual creator who has a bit of a work ethic and actually is motivated to do things. And I found very quickly that none of my friends meet that criteria.
No.
So I was like, oh, Manimal, you want to do this? Here's the audience for it. Do it. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
what you
I'll
just described is how the procrastinators happened. Because, like, individually, none of us have friends who will do things, Like Ben and Nate are brothers, and that's why both of them are, they both work on creative projects, which is why they're both in the PCP. But, like, we've had times where my brother and Hippo's brother were both in there, and we've had them in the chat before, but they never posted or anything, and they never made anything. Even though they're very talented, either one of them could launch a YouTube channel. They just didn't have good ideas for it. And all my other friends, like, I would try to get them involved in every videos all the time. Like, I always wanted them in Let's Plays.
That's been the last year of my life.
I would always want to do skits. No one ever wanted to do skits,
It's so frustrating.
It's really difficult because you're just it's like you can see the successful version of it. You can picture in your mind, guys, if you just for one afternoon decide you want to just, like, stop sitting around being ironic hipsters about everything and work on a video and take it seriously, there's a chance this video could set us all up with careers, But no one will do it because they can't picture it the way that you can.
And the thing that makes me the most angry is that these fuckers are all talk. They're all bark and no bite, because they would spend, the years before I was Mumkey, we would just sit around and they talk about how they want to make all these things, and now that I'm actually doing it and they have the opportunity to join me, suddenly now they don't want to. Now I'd rather just play Call of Duty again tonight.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was the Cobb from 3 years ago who was making videos with me every fucking weekend?
Yeah.
Now that we have success, you give up? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's just people become complacent, because at some point, as a creative-minded person, I think there's a definitive moment when it sinks in, I'm not built for this. And it's like, it's when, I think maybe it's because you got successful that they realize.
I sense a lot of resentment about it.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of jealousy, and that might sound conceited, but I feel like a lot of them felt that way, like, oh, Mumkey doesn't deserve it. I do. I'm grumbling.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat off of his success. I do.
I mean, my friends weren't quite like that, but I definitely think that it was when I started really making it when one person makes it, it makes everyone else assess what's the difference between me and them, and then that's when they realize maybe I can't do it. You know, like when they realized that you were doing work every week and that they did not want to do that work every week, or like once they understood what the work would be and that they didn't want to do that work, they
decide, maybe I'm better just as a consumer,
right?
Not as a creator.
I mean, that's why I never became a filmmaker, because before I did YouTube for years, I wanted to be a film director. Me and my cousin Boyd and my brother Victor. Well, the thing is that, like, we got all the material. Like, we had a camera. We had, I listened to all these Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez talking about, like, just pick up your camera and go outside and film stuff.
I didn't go to film school. I went to films.
Yeah. Well, there was one quote in particular where Tarantino says, spend your whole, like, every day when you come home from work on a script, and then on the weekend, shoot that script. That's how you become a great filmmaker. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. That's obviously what you have to do. But if you come home from work and you don't want to write a script, and this keeps happening and you keep telling yourself you'll do it eventually, at some point you have to say, well, this obviously is something I'm never going to do. Yeah. And I think that might be, what happened to my cousin, because he, for a very long time, was saying he was going to be a director, and then at some point he just stopped bringing it up, because I think he realized, well, I'm not doing it, so I'm obviously not doing it. Whereas Victor is now doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel the same way as my cousin. I gave up. At some point I realized I like how about instead of forcing myself to try to make films, which I'm obviously not doing, I could look at this thing that I do every day for no reason, which is write about anime, and try to make a career out of that,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there are some things that you're just more pre-built for doing, and you should figure that out. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that Manimal was super excited about making these reviews, and then he never did. But we did want it. He was very adamant that it shouldn't be just a Let's Play channel, because he looks down on that. I used to as well, but now that I know, like,
I think everybody does until they do it.
Right. It's not because I realize
podcasts.
It's not because I realize, oh, this is an easy video, but because, like, it does mean something to a lot of the audience to have, like, every day, here's my 15-minute video where I hear these people who I like talking about shit.
If you're fucking entertaining enough that people will watch it, you've earned it,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, people can shit all day on, like, the Game Grumps, for instance, and, I mean, I don't think they're funny anymore, but, like, the idea of being as funny as they are, as consistently as they were for a fucking year with 2 uploads a day, 20 minutes a day of you being funny. That's 20 minutes of improv comedy coming out every single day. And the game does not carry it. Like, people watch Game Grumps for them. People don't care about the video games they're playing.
I can't remember the last time I watched the Game Grumps without it being open in a different tab.
Yeah.
I just listen to them talk.
I mean, sometimes it's a game they're more reactive to, you will. But, like, if you're watching, like, Pokemon, you don't want to look at that. Just open it up in a new tab, sit around, listen to it all day, Or just have it on, like, when I binge watched the entire Dan era, I just had it. I just had it full screen on my computer.
What was that? Like a year and a half at that point?
Yeah, it was close to 2 years.
Shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen any of it because I'd quit after John left.
That's fair.
And so I caught up on all of it in the span of a couple weeks after it was when my channel got deleted by YouTube, so I was depressed. So I just laid on, like, the couch and just binged it for fucking 2 weeks. And
Was it
Yeah,
a good
it was
2 weeks
great.
or a bad 2 weeks?
Well, I mean,
Did
Game
Dan...
Grumps numbed me to the crushing pain that I was feeling outside of watching Game Grumps.
Now, did you dislike Dan at first, or like did he grow on you, or were you always the same?
He definitely grew on me. I don't think I disliked him. It was just that the breakup was so traumatizing.
And it was so out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then that Dan sounded a lot like his voice was too similar to Aaron, and he wasn't confrontational in the way that they'd been before. It just didn't have the same chemistry. You
And
know?
suddenly he was half the channel because he was on both Steam Train and Game Grumps.
Well, and I found Steam Train insufferable, and I still do. I've never been able to sit through a whole episode.
Is it because of Ross?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's fair.
It's that like Ross and Barry can be funny, but just not on that show. Like they can't be funny as guys playing video games.
Yeah, I like Barry probably 30 times more than I like Ross. I think Barry's pretty cool.
I think both of them, like if you listen to like Ross and Aaron talk about animation, like that one Let's Draw that they did, it was like 50 minutes of them just discussing animation. Ross comes off as like a cool and interesting guy, but when he's trying to be like funny and off the cuff, he just comes off as an obnoxious fucking prick. And then Barry is just too normy. I think he's just not a comedian. He doesn't have like the comedy chops. He's a good editor, and he's he can write a good script, but not a good anyway, we're off in the weeds talking about Game Grumps.
So Manimal didn't want it to be a standard Let's Play channel. He wanted us to put in a whole bunch of work. He wanted all the boring parts to be cut out, which for a long time we did. I think the first game we did was one of his favorite games, Shadowrun.
Was that the first?
Yeah, and like those are heavily edited. There's always shit getting cut out all the time.
Yeah.
But he also wanted us to do skits and stuff, and those almost primarily or almost exclusively came up in the Nuzlocks. Like the Fire Red Nuzlocke had some fun live action skits with Manimal, and then I don't know, we did some other things.
Which the live action skits in the Fire Red playthrough are legendary. That's
You think so?
That's some of my favorite parts of your whole channel. Just him running shirtless through the woods in like this weird junk pile that's out there.
Yeah.
Going like beef jerky, need food, and then like doesn't he tear his shirt off in one of them?
He does that all the time.
Yeah, he tears his shirt off. There's a part where he's like running around your house, and there's just like a sink full of beef jerky, and he just like sees it and just starts eating it, and, like eating out of the trash and shit, and then he like suplexes you or something at one point.
And then at the end when he's leaving, he like steals my garbage can because he loves garbage.
Yeah,
and he runs off with it.
That's one of my favorite like skits ever in a video. Is the whole Manimal. That's why I was so sad that Manimal's not around anymore.
Yeah. So he wanted to do all these skits and to highly polish these Let's Plays, and then he also wanted to start his big game analysis thing, but then none of it happened. He's like, "Hey Manimal, you want to come over and record some skits for a video?" Oh no. Okay, when he's over and we're recording a Let's Play, hey, we should do a skit for this. No, I don't want to. Hey Manimal, how's you said you're gonna do a Nuzlocke? How's that coming? Oh, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to realize, he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it. If without me, Manimal's nothing. He's not gonna make anything on his own ever.
I mean, I could tell that immediately. Like, I loved him as a skit prop, and I thought if he was serious about like participating, he would always have been a good guy to have around. Like, it's great to have a cool, strong guy. Like, to just have one to show off in a video, like, such a great character. Because as a bunch of nerds on the internet, I think we all have a certain reverence for big, cool, strong, beefy men, you know?
Sure.
And, like, when we
and to have one who's, like, your
buddy.
Soft-hearted best friend.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the idea of having this cool, big... Which I have a bunch of friends like this. Most of my friends are way more jacked than me. And
Hard to believe.
I love... Well, because I'm not jacked at all. Yeah, they're all jacked. Yeah. But I love the idea of like showing off my strong friend. You know, getting to say like, "Hey, you guys all think I'm some little nerd, but look at my friend here. He can kick all your asses." You know, like
I finally understand.
Understand
why all women want Chad. Because they want to show off their big manly trophy.
Exactly.
God damn it, we never stood a chance, did you?
So, and I don't even think. Like, Manimal doesn't even qualify. Manimal looks like a bear gay, if anything, you know. But he brings out my latent homo lust, for sure. I just want to be held in those strong arms. It's that protective coat of fur he has, and sleep in it, you know. But yeah, like, I mean, as I was watching those videos, I was always thinking, like, well, this guy is clearly too normie to be a YouTuber on his own, you know?
We did, like, a handful of skits, like...
Because your comedic chemistry with him is exactly like mine with my friends on Digi and Friends. Have you ever watched any of the non-Victor Digibros?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there was a series called Digi and Friends where it would just be me and whatever other friends were around. We would usually release Digibros was also 2 episodes a day for the first like year that it was around, and it was usually 1 episode of Digibros and 1 episode of Digi and Friends. And yeah, it was. I mean, I carried all the conversations.
Of course,
you know?
Of course.
Like, it's just how it is.
There's like the meme of Manimal's Subway sandwich, so we did a couple...
Which was great.
We did a couple jokes of like the Subway sandwich reveal video, but like those skits were super easy to make, so it was no big deal. But otherwise, he didn't really want to do it. I really wanted him to join in the Mumkey's Anime Reviews lore as a character, so he was in the B movie review, and then he was in the Pokemon review. But then after the Pokemon review, after that day, I'd never heard from him again. Like, he recorded his audio, we recorded the skit in the bathtub and everything, and then after that day, like he never messaged me again or anything. He just disappeared, and I was like, oh, what happened? Was I mean to him when we were filming this? I don't understand at all. So then after like 3 months of no contact, I took his name off the channel. So it's like, well, I guess this is the final thing. There's no coming back from this. He's gonna notice that the password has changed and that the name has changed, and now it's just Mumkey's Gaming Expedition. And I haven't talked to him. I don't know what happened.
You don't think he's dead, do you? Like, what
no,
the hell
no,
happened?
because
Where is he?
we have mutual friends who he still hangs out with. But it's like, is it my fault? Like I didn't message him either, but like surely if you still wanted to be, I don't know, maybe he's thinking the same thing that I am.
Yeah.
But I guess neither of us made the effort for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's what happens with me and most of my friends. At some point, neither one of us has contacted each other, and I keep thinking, should I? But surely if he wanted to hang out, he would have contacted me.
They're probably thinking the same thing about you.
Yeah, but then I'm also like... But that's the thing. I'm not contacting them because I don't know what we'd hang out and do.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know, I don't want to lose this friend, but at the same time, what the hell do I have them around for? You know, just to sit around and do nothing.
And it got to the point where maybe he felt like I was using him in some way, because the only times we would ever hang out would be to work on videos, because that's all I ever want to do.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of my friends
It's just what happens.
Away.
This job gets into your head. It like really... I mean, what if you come over to my house for the weekend? By the way, this is a live podcast. If anyone couldn't tell, we're in the same room on the same microphone.
And we're both naked. Because it's very hot in here.
And the plan was, Mumkey was like, I'm coming over to your house for this weekend. Let's record 1,000 things.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we've been doing.
That's all we've done, and that's all I want to do.
For me, it's the best possible thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so close with the PCP. Like, we don't... I think there might be a conception of us doing anything other than the PCP together, and we don't. We hang out in this chat where we either are... I mean, we share our random thoughts and stuff, but like...
We get into vicious arguments that are hurtful and personal sometimes.
Yeah, but like...
I love you, Jess!
But like, most of the times that we talk is all for recordings. We don't do calls randomly.
No, I hate calls. At the end of every
really
PCP, as soon as I turn off the recording, I exit the call because I don't want to talk. I hate it.
I usually do too. The only reason Nate hangs out in there is because he's trying to pressure everybody to get their audio before they leave the call.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I always send it immediately.
We don't usually hang out and talk afterwards unless we have like... I don't know, sometimes we do, and it can be nice, you know, but like, and sometimes I will orchestrate a podcast just so that we can have a conversation. Like, there's been plenty of podcasts that were recorded just on the basis of, I want to talk to my friends. We did one recently that I threw out.
Yeah. Well, I think Jess was upset about it, because he
just thought it didn't come out well, and I kind of agreed, and I also, the thing is that the conceit of the podcast was just an excuse to talk with friends, you know? And, like, when it was just me and you at the beginning, I thought that would have made a good podcast, but once everybody else joined in, I was like, well, this is just a conversation now. This doesn't really need to be public.
This is going crazy.
Yeah. But that's a thing that happens with us, and I don't necessarily see that as, like, a huge negative. Like, I just really enjoy making stuff, and I enjoy having people around who can make stuff with me, which is why I've kind of taken to you so much, because you have the same mindset I do, and you're as prolific as me. which, it's harder for me to work with the other members of the PCP because they're all working on their own stuff, and they... Like, if I get Nate to do something else, that's taking away from his videos.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't have a lot of time to do his own stuff as it is.
He's already working a full-time job,
right,
and he's working on the PCP, which it used to be he edited PCP, and the only reason he stopped is because it was taking too much time away from editing his regular
because he would do a lot of editing.
Overboard because he cannot just fucking post a video to the internet. But that's why as soon as I feel like me and you have the same mindset about videos, which is it's more important that it's done than that it's perfect.
Sure.
You
can't watch something if you don't put it up.
Yeah, I don't care much about editing. I don't care much about like making it pretty or perfect for everybody, because not every video has to be seen by everyone, I make lots of stuff that I just post on my subreddit and that's it, or on Pornhub.
Wait, what have you posted on Pornhub?
Well, I assisted a friend of mine in making a video.
Yeah, I know that the Hentai Samurai wasn't you.
No,
but you helped him out.
Yeah, he's not around today because he's taking a sabbatical to the porn store. He's taking he's an assistant manager at Got It Video.
Wait, doesn't sabbatical mean he's not working?
For Hentai Samurai, it's a sabbatical from porn, from jacking off.
He takes a vacation to go work at his other job.
Basically, he goes to work at a porn store because as a samurai, he has to...
Samurai!
Yeah, as a samurai, he has to have a certain level of, like, countenance. Like, he has to be... what's the word I'm looking for? Like Bushido, like that Bushido code of like temperance
of jerking off.
Well, basically, he's trying to not jerk off, and by going to work for 8 hours a day, but being surrounded by porn, it helps him to build up his
his chakras.
Yeah, he basically stands around at work all day, like fuming, like.
I would imagine that 3D porn would disgust him, and he only wants to see hentai.
Hentai Samurai he loves all porn. He's a connoisseur of
he celebrates
all types. Yeah.
He celebrates it. Anyway, I think the point we're trying to make is that these friends of ours feel like they're being used, whereas in my mind I think we have a fun chemistry, a good friendship, and I want to share that with the whole world.
Yeah.
Where he might feel like, he's just using me to have a co-host on his
That's
Let's
what's
Play.
so difficult about it is that like the reason I had all my friends on there is because I think they're cool people.
Yeah.
I like all these
guys.
So
it's especially painful when they no longer want to do it or to be friends with you.
Yeah, like these are all people I wanted to show off.
My only crime was that I love you.
Yeah, if you listen to all my videos, you will probably have heard me talking about how much I love these people a lot. Like, I always am bragging about them because I think they're cool. Or if you listen to all the old music I used to force them to do, because that was also a thing. I used to have all my friends were musicians, but none of them were like willing to actually make music, so I would just force them all into a room and have them like bullshit improv stuff, and then I would upload it. None of them wanted anything to do with it, but I love it, and I still listen to all that stuff. They probably don't even remember half of it. So anyway, so you've gotten to that. You are now in the same position I am, falling out with all your friends, trying to get the hell out of your hometown.
Yeah, you're moving the hell out.
Yeah.
By the time this is up, I'll probably be moved out.
I don't know. This could come out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm moving at the end of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're currently visiting North Carolina. I don't think it's any secret that your girlfriend is Sheepover.
No, not at this point.
Sheepover, how did you two meet?
I think the first time we talked was on Snapchat. She sent me a snap, and I thought she looked like Murph from Interstellar. I was like, oh shit, dude, it's Murph. Man, she's two of the top 10 waifus of all time, dude.
Oh, yeah, she is.
I gotta get in with Murph, and the rest is history.
So yeah, you've always had a very public Snapchat, which I thought that was another thing that interested me right from the beginning, was your willingness to not just have fan interactions, but to let them get closer to you than I think most people would. Like, Snapchat, I was always afraid to have a public Snapchat because I'm like, I'm going to get dick pics.
I do every day.
Do you really?
Of course.
I've never gotten one. I have a public Snapchat now. I've never gotten a dick pic.
I think your fans respect you.
That's Well, that was the saddest thing that ever happened, in my opinion, was you opened a P.O. box, and...
I know where this is going.
Yeah. Well, that Mumkey opened a P.O. box, which I'd been meaning to do for a long time, but I guess I had assumed it was too expensive or too much of a pain in the ass.
How much did you end up paying for it?
$60, I think, for 6 months.
I did like 100 for a full year.
Yeah, so you opened a P.O. box, and when you did that, I was like, well, shit, if Mumkey's doing it, I want to do it, you know, like, I'm even bigger than him, I'll probably get even more shit, you know, and you were
sure did.
Shit. Yeah, but the funny part is, because what you got was like a bunch of dildos and sex toys, I'm expecting that, and it never happened.
No.
7 months of having a P.O. box, never once did I get any sex stuff or anything weird. All just like love letters.
Yeah, you get like gifts and
like
posters.
These unbelievably long like fucking soliloquies about how my content changed someone's life, and Mumkey gets like boy pussy aroma candles.
And like you'll be putting up a new mailbag once a week, and it's like an hour long with just a constant stream of gifts. I struggle to make an 8-minute episode with 3 packages, all of which are like just fuck you gifts.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up because I think there's a perception of you that because you embrace that's what you want more of. But I don't think that's necessarily the case.
That's the fear that by laughing at it and propping it up, it seems like I'm encouraging it.
Well, that's what I think. That's what I think. When Jesse says that he has a different mindset about the interactions, I think it's because he thinks you want just that, but you don't. It's just that's all you're getting.
I mean, I don't. If it was just that, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I still think it's funny because, in my view, the internet should be the wild, wild west, and I think everybody on the internet should be an asshole all the time, which I know you all very much disagree with,
right?
Especially Jess. But I mean, the internet, in my mind, ever since the beginning of me going on the internet, it's been like going on 4chan, going on these cesspools of hatred, and that's what I love, and I think that's what the internet should be about. You can be nice to each other in person, you know, that'd be a human interaction.
The problem with it is that the internet is real now. And, like, I think that the people who have the mindset like what you have, just, there's a lot of people who don't recognize or won't admit that it's no longer the same people.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time when the internet was like a closed-off place that was just for freaks and weirdos. It was like, if you can't make it in normal society, here's a place for you. But now everyone's on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, now if we're just assholes to each other, then it's no different from doing it in real life, you know? And it's like, especially for those of us who don't have anywhere else to go in real life, it's like, I don't want to go to the place where everyone's an asshole. I want to go, give me the hug box. I need something on here, somewhere I can get my hugs, you know?
So I have to assume some people, the appeal of Mumkey is that it's a corner of the internet where almost anything goes, like anything that YouTube won't ban me for. Yeah. Because I'll make a video of me saying the word nigger in a rap song. I mean, you do that all the time, obviously, but like that's just one example. I'll make a video about 9/11 and the Jews and all this stuff because like it's the internet. I don't care. Like anything should go, and I want to be the shining example of on the internet anything is possible.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're saying that's dying, and now it's becoming a normie.
Well,
zone.
I mean, I think you can keep it alive in that corner, which
is my goal.
You know, the problem is that we brought you into the PCP and brought your fan base to ours.
That's your problem now.
we mixed them in an unfortunate way. So now your fans are coming to our channels just to get banned.
I mean, once you ban them, well, what's the problem after that?
Well, there's the problem is there's 1,000 avenues on the internet. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I understand the desire to like keep that alive, and that's kind of why I still go on 4chan, for the same reason that like I like that the internet can be a place that normal stuff can happen, and like my channel, obviously I try to preserve like meaningful conversation and stuff, but I don't always want that. Sometimes I just want to go to 4chan, and see what's and see the assholes be assholes to each other, so I totally understand the idea of like having it alive. But would you not say that if fans sent you like genuine stuff, you would also be happy with that too?
Oh yeah. I mean, let's not say that everything I've gotten is bad. I've gotten some good things. I think there've been a couple of times where I didn't show it in the video, but like a letter, like I actually teared up because it was just like so. It was just so nice and
I just think stuff. I think that because of the Mumkey persona, there's a lot of people who assume that you would rather get like negative comments and people shitting on you when this is not really the case.
I mean, it depends on the type of video. If the Elliot Rodger review, like I would like a serious discussion there. It's a serious video. But all these fucking videos about yelling about Jews and stuff, like just shut up the comments. That's what like let the comments reflect the video. I think that's fair.
Do you think some of your audience has a difficult time discerning between when they should be serious or not?
Probably. I mean, I don't care. As long as their mean comments are funny, even if they're genuine, if they're funny, then I still love them because it makes me laugh.
Funny is always the problem. I think the biggest problem with commenters is that so many of them aren't funny and think they are. Yeah. That's by far my biggest. Like, I don't even mind. I've gotten comments that shit on me that were legitimately funny that I will upvote. You know, like it's not every day. Like, if you leave a comment that's just like "fuck you," then I'm like, well,
I think that's funny because the lack of effort is funny on its own.
It can be, but if it's just like someone like, because I usually am like, I know why. It's just some snob fan or something, you know, just saying "fuck you." And I'm just like, you're banned.
Do you ever get comments where it just says "okay" and nothing more?
Those do make me laugh.
It's like, why did you post this?
I actually do think those were pretty funny.
Like, what the fuck is this in reference to?
I always get so confused and I don't know what to do about it. I'm like, is this a shit post? What is this?
I love those.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's the thing. "Fuck you" is too unambiguous. If you're so confounding, like I've had some where they're shitting on me, but they're just like so incompetent at English that I leave it up because I feel like they've defeated themselves. You know, like. Oh yeah, it can be a lot of fun.
If you're still listening, just comment "okay" on this episode.
Someone probably already did
before they even got to this point.
Yeah,
it's just that guy who does it.
It probably says "okay" and then edit ... shit.
Now they're gonna do that on purpose. You fucked it all up.
Oh damn it. Maybe they'll take it another step farther from where we've thought.
Yeah. Let's not give them any more freebies.
So, you are planning to either before this comes out or right afterwards to end Mumkey's anime review.
Coming to an end, baby. I'll finally be free. Yeah. Episode 50. I thought I'd go to 100, but I think I've exercised the lore enough, and I can only. Mumkey can only go through this cycle of knowing that it's all conspiracy and then thinking it's real and back and forth.
It's already gotten to a point of saturation.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, this needs to end. I can't stretch this out forever. Let's end it once and for all. I'll keep making the exact same style of video, but we just won't call it Mumkey's Anime Reviews.
And it won't have the narrative with Uncle Alex
and
Jumkey and all that.
All that's gonna get retired. I might keep Jumkey and Alexa as characters, but it's like it'll be a different canon.
Right.
Maybe.
So, oh god, I got a burp coming in. There we go. Where are you going to go after this, after it's all over? Do you think you'll ever construct another narrative, or do you think you're done with that whole aspect of it?
I think it was a fun little experiment.
Right.
And a lot of people seem to really like it, but if I don't have a good idea for it, I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to try to force it. I think
that's why I've never done one.
The pitfalls that people fall into.
I've always wanted to.
People think, oh, I have to do a narrative. That's what you know. All the JonTron has a narrative sometimes and all this shit. So I have to force it in, and then that's when they're bad. Is when you try to force it. It has to come naturally, like with me or with Jess.
Yeah.
When he does
with
it.
Jesse, he can't help it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a destructive force in his life that he can't help but tie narratives into his videos.
Right.
It's hurt his chances of success on YouTube, unfortunately.
It's like the same thing with the Triflers, which I'm sure we'll talk about later because we have another 3 hours of this to go.
Yeah.
But people keep saying, "Oh, you got to write a sequel to the Triflers." I'm thinking, I'd love to, but if I don't have the good idea, I'm not gonna write something that's shit.
I mean, maybe you'll have a good idea in 10 years or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But who knows? Yeah, and why does everyone... Like, people are demanding this of you, not thinking about the fact that it's not like Triflers is a New York Times bestseller, and that wasting 2 years writing a sequel is going to be a huge payoff.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand that writing a book is a huge process. They think, like, as far as I know, I wrote the Triflers, like, in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't edit it once. Like, that's just how they think it just came to be. Yeah. And I can just do it again over the weekend.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Triflers was completed before Mumkey's anime reviews started.
Yeah.
So, give me the timetable. I have to go to the bathroom, but you can talk about the timetable of how the Triflers came.
Okay. The initial idea for it, of like this group of kids in a basement who watched horrible videos, it came to me, I think, my senior year of high school, and I kind of played around with it for a bit, and then my freshman year of college, I completed another book I was working on, which I have not released or anything. I think the only person who's read it, other than my grandma and mom, are Sheepover and Tom Oliver. So then after I finished that book, I said, okay, let's see what we got with this Triflers thing. So I worked on that. It took about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I think I finished it my junior year of college. And that's about when I started the Let's Plays, I think. I think that timetable makes sense. Maybe it was a little bit before. But yeah, then I started doing Mumkey. I forget about the book for about a year. Do Mumkey for about a full year. And then I was like, oh, hey, maybe I could polish up this book and people will buy it, because there are a few anime reviews where I just took straight pages from the Triflers, and that's the whole review.
Yeah.
The Traps review is straight from the book. The Depression review, straight from the book. And people like those videos, so I thought, well, maybe they'll like this book. And they did. They overwhelmingly did. So it all worked out.
Have you had any particularly negative reviews of the Triflers?
No, and I'm astonished by it. Not one person said this book was not good. Nobody's given it lower than like a 4 out of 5. Which I have to assume if they bought it in the first place, they were already interested and they were already a fan. So, I don't know.
I mean, I was just... Like, to me, the fact that the book even has, like, competent prose is enough for it to be like, oh, this is a 10 out of 10. like, you know, most of the stuff I get sent by people who are, like, on the internet who are like, yeah, I'm writing a book, and then they send it to me, and within 2 sentences, I'm sick of it. You know, like, most people just...
Writing is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But if it...
A lot of people just, they can't do it. Like, they just can't do it.
Right. And, like, most of the problems I had with your book were more like high-level problems. Like small structural things and nitpicks, and, like, maybe this word would have been better in this sentence. You are sweating up a storm, I'm noticing.
Who, me?
Yeah, you look like you're sweating
It's hot in here. Yeah.
It's a little warm.
I get heated when I think about books.
Yeah.
Very passionate.
I guess so. I didn't notice until just now. I guess the sun got brighter and it illuminated.
Yeah, I want to close that goddamn curtain.
I can do that.
I don't know if that'll make it cooler in here, but fuck the sun.
So you finally put out this book. So your other one, which is a little shorter,
yeah.
You're still not thinking about releasing?
Maybe. I think there are some major things I need to change about it. If you thought that there was too much sexual stuff with minors and the Triflers, boy howdy, this book's gonna get me arrested for sure. So I think I need to. And Sheepover, you know what I'm talking about. I don't think anybody. Tom. I asked Tom about the specific chapters, in Chapter 5, just the most gruesome thing I've ever written in my life. Mm-hmm. And I asked him what he thought of it. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I'm so used to this kind of stuff thanks to the internet that it didn't really bother me.
Right.
But everybody else was, like, traumatized. My mom, grandma, and Sheepover specifically.
That's the thing. They're I mean... If your stuff is like for internet people, I think. Like, this is, when I read The Triflers, my impression of it was like, this is the most millennial book ever written. Like,
whoa, wait, it's a bad thing.
No, I'm a millennial. I understand it. I wanted to give you this quote. I keep forgetting to mention this to you, but a few years back when I was, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years ago, when I was trying to become a writer before this whole YouTube thing.
I'm a writer.
I'm a writer. Yeah. I've been saying that a lot lately and completely meaning it. But But back when I was trying to be a writer as opposed to a YouTuber, there was a party going on at my house with my parents, all their friends and stuff, and one of my mom or dad's friends who works with them was like sloshed. She's probably late 30s, early 40s, got kids who are in high school kind of thing, and she was like drunkenly telling me that what she wants, like what I should write about is like all the illicit stuff that high school kids are getting up to, like all the young kids, like tell me about like all the drugs and sex life. And I was like, I wasn't a part of any of that. Like, why would I know this story? Like, I only am good at writing what I know, which is about being.
You should only write what you know.
Right. Well, the way I saw it, I was like, what the kids are up to these days is not all that stuff. They're up to being isolated in their rooms at computers. But then when I read the Triflers, I was like, this is exactly what that woman wanted. This is exactly what she wanted, is the seedy, fucked up shit that young people are getting up to in high school, you know? I mean, granted, that probably went a little further than she could have handled.
A lot further, I imagine.
Yeah, but I was like, this is exactly that. And so I do think it touched on something that a lot of people want, which is, you know, because it feels real. Like, everything in the Triflers, aside from the fact that Dawn is like a legitimate, like, high level, like, light Yagami, you know, like, schemer.
How'd you know my inspiration?
Aside from that, like, everything in it felt like, yeah, this is the kids I knew in high school. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the kind of shit the edgy shit they would have got up to, you know, sitting around in a basement watching live leak videos and stuff.
You did have a friend who planned a school shooting. Good old Philip.
Yeah, good old Philip Bay was gonna do it. Not just planned, he had the weapons and everything. He was ready.
He's a regular Mario Quintanilla.
I think he was busted because he had posted stuff online and people found it.
He pulled an Elliot Rodger.
Yeah. But except he actually got caught, unlike Elliot. Yeah. I think he was before Elliot. His attempt. He was post Virginia Tech. I think that was more his inspiration.
I could have done a whole 30-minute review of your friend Philip if only he would have gotten away with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so do you have plans to write another book anytime soon? Do you think that'll happen? Do you have any ideas for books popping around?
I've been thinking very hard about how I would approach a Triflers sequel. And I have, like, vague impressions of what it would be and things that would happen. But
a detective novel starring Mason.
That'd be a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, unless I get like a really good idea, I'm not going to even attempt it. And writing a book is hard, and it takes a lot of time, and I just don't feel like it right now. Yeah. Like, I just got off the high of this one being released.
Yeah.
If anything, I would polish up and release the one that I wrote before the Triflers.
Well, I'm really curious about where your heart sort of resides in regards to content right now, because you've mentioned that YouTube has become a little bit too formulaic, and you're kind of sick of it. In a way.
I think I was just getting sick of the anime reviews videos.
Yeah.
Because I have, as soon as this ends, I have like 3 new series in my mind that I'm really excited to do them.
Okay.
One of which is, I think what I'm calling it is the 10 isms, where I take 10 words that end in ism and I just dissect them and I go through them for like 10 to 15 minutes. So cool. Things like communism, autism, atheism, etc. So I'm really excited about that. It's like the same style as the anime reviews, without the old joke that atheism is a Japanese anime.
Yeah.
We get it, Mumkey. You've done it 50 times. Yeah. Let's move on.
So you've got some more YouTube stuff planned.
Yeah. Lots more Let's Plays planned. Once I move in with Sheep, and I hopefully...
Is Sheep going to become a co-host?
No, I hope not. I don't think either one of us want that. But hopefully I'll be able to film more often, because I've been having a lot of trouble filming in my current apartment. Yeah. Once I have more time, I bought Mario Maker for the 3DS. I want to play the fuck out of that, because I think it's fun as shit. And some other things. So
leaving aside the anime reviews, you do plan to continue the Mumkey character.
Yeah.
But without the surrounding narrative. So will he still be making reference to being molested or anything, or is it just like a screaming Mumkey?
I'm putting Uncle Alex to bed. We've had enough.
So
there's only so far you can go with that joke.
Yeah. But you're still going to be like a gravelly voiced
sure.
monkey man.
I'm still gonna be myself.
And the mask is staying on.
Yeah. We'll see how often I do live action.
Right.
Because that's always it's hit or miss, and it's also a lot of effort.
Do you think there's a chance that the mask is going to come off at some point, just to be able to? Sheep's giving me a look like, yeah, it's happening. Like, there's no way he's keeping this up forever.
I think if I get more handsome,
I figured the same thing. The fact that you're not bad looking at all.
No.
I
hate it.
When I said, I asked Mumkey like why he wears the mask, or he said, he was telling me that he was trying to become a teacher, and I said, is that why you wear the mask? And he said, no, horrible acne scarring. So I expected you to be like legitimately ugly. And look, Mumkey, I'll tell you right now, I cannot look ugly people directly in the face. And I'm not joking about that. If you were...
Is that why you look away when Ben comes in the room? Shit.
That's not true. But
we're learning.
But when if I didn't think that you had a face that I could look at, I would be looking off into the distance the whole time we were talking.
Okay.
I guarantee it. So I'm not even kidding about that. I'm a terrible person.
Now let me tell you this, Digi. The day because I'm only here visiting Sheep for 10 days, and then I'm going home for a week, and then I'm moving on into North Carolina. But the day I get back, Big Brother, the TV show, is doing a casting call in my city, like a few blocks from my house, and I'm gonna go fucking apply. And if I get on Big Brother, like, this is all out. My face is gonna be out there. My everything about me will be out there, and my life will probably be ruined, because after you get exposed as Mumkey on national television, I don't think you get a job after that.
No.
But I want to be on Big Brother so bad that I'll throw away any semblance of a future at that chance for $500,000, and then after taxes like $8.
I mean, I don't know if you feel similarly to me at all, because you're just now sort of taking the internet personality thing more as like a career, and even then you're planning to get a normal job when you move to North Carolina.
Oh, I fucking hope I do.
Yeah, because like, for me, the second I started making money off of YouTube, the prospect of ever doing a normal job again was just gone. Like, I never thought about it. I never looked back. Like, the only reason I'd ever get a normal job is if, like, for some reason I couldn't do the internet at all. Like, but I don't feel like that'll ever happen. Like, what would ever stop me,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me, it was like, well, it doesn't matter what I say online now, because this is who I am now. And like... And that's why I'm so willing to go around saying nigger on podcasts and writing songs about it. It's just like, this is who I am now, and fuck the old me. So do you think you'll ever reach a point like that, where it'll just be like, I'm not worried about preserving my ability to have a normal life?
Well, I think if I was that serious about that worry, then I wouldn't do the kinds of videos that I make. Mm-hmm. I mean, I make things that are highly offensive. I mean, in this SJW culture, I mean, I guess if Donald Trump could become president after what he said, maybe I do stand a chance.
Yeah.
But
you just got to go to the right places. Don't move to California.
No.
Stay in the deep South, where just find an establishment who unironically agrees with the things you've said in your videos, and you're set,
The fear of the job lynch mob is very real, but ultimately, I mean, I feel like I'm at the point of no return already. Like, I've crossed it. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Right.
Like, I've already put these videos out, and they're on the internet forever once you put it up once. But the prospect of doing this just as a job and do nothing else like you do, it's such a new type of job, and it hasn't been around long enough to know if it's sustainable. Right. Like, 5 years from now, maybe Digibro isn't making any money anymore, or maybe you're making $20,000 a month.
Yeah,
we have no way of knowing.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about it, is there's no benefits, and there's
no insurance.
There's no boss. Like, you work for YouTube, who's only out to fuck you.
True. True.
Like, they say they want to help you, but they fuck you at every turn.
Yep.
And you're really relying on like if I didn't have Patreon, I would be fucked.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of YouTubers who do just rely on ad revenue and sponsorships. I really wonder how JonTron's gonna survive his controversy.
He'll be fine. I'm sure
But
he'll be fine.
just like he makes so much like. I mean, he'd have to if he lost all his sponsorships for the things he says, he'd have to scale back his production. I'd assume, you know,
that would help his videos a lot.
it would.
He should do that.
I hope it happens. But
if JonTron makes a Patreon, he's making $5,000 a month minimum.
So
I think he's
probably
fine.
True. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's an interesting culture because we don't know if Patreon's going to start cannibalizing itself in the future. Like, that's always been a concern for me. Is the more people find out about it, the more spread thin the money gets. You know, there's going to get to a point where people like that was a big concern of all of us when we made the PCP Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Are people going to unpatron one of us to patron the group?
Which I think did happen.
Probably a couple people.
Some people like lowered theirs from 5 to 1 so that they could throw in $1 to the PCP, which is like, I mean, that kind of fucks us over in a way.
Yeah,
because
it
like,
definitely does.
Because we're all splitting the money anyway. So like now instead of Digi getting that $2, now he's getting like 20 cents.
Yeah, probably.
So.
Yeah.
Do you really like Ben Saint that much that you want to take away $1.80 from Digi so that Ben can get like a 20% or 20-cent share? Like, fuck Ben, just give the money to us directly. I don't know. But I shouldn't say don't do the PCP Patreon because I get like what $20 a video off of it. That's
Probably.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the way I see it though, and this is why I think you would be able to do it you would be able to make a career out of this is again because you're so prolific. Because if you are constantly putting shit out, I see it as you've got a dartboard and you're just like throwing dart after dart. Like if you spend all your time and money trying to craft the perfect dart before you throw it and then you miss, you've wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know. But if you've got like 100 cheap darts, all that matters is that it hits the bullseye.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter what the dart looks like. If it hits the bullseye, it hits the bullseye, and you make all the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So like, I think the fact that you could just be putting out like a bunch of podcasts, a bunch of Let's Plays, a bunch of other shit, and like something's gotta hit eventually. So like for me. If for some reason I can't do anime anymore because they keep fucking hitting me with copyright strikes
Which
every
they're
other
gonna
day,
keep doing, I think.
Like, if I decided, like, hey, the problem here is anime, let's just cut anime and go to another thing.
You think you could do that?
I think I could do that easily. I mean, I cut Pony and went to anime and became twice as successful.
Go back to Pony.
3 times as successful.
They need a new Messiah over there. The bronies are struggling.
The bronies are dead. There's no going back there. They're gone.
MLP probably gets like what 200 posts a day on the 4chan board.
It's the worst board on the whole website. I hope you know that.
I wouldn't know.
They're the worst board on 4chan. It should have been what everyone thought it was going to be, which is that everyone a repeat of the furry board. You know about the furry board?
No.
There, like 10 years ago, maybe more, 4chan made a furry board, a containment board for the furries, and then they
How'd that work out?
They left it up for 1 week, and then anybody who posted there all got banned. It was a carpet ban. It was all a trap.
Genius.
Yeah.
Even if you go there to troll them, just get fucked.
That's what MLP should have been. They all deserve it. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what people thought it was when it first came out. But yeah, I think that you could, because you're so prolific, you could eventually, and that there's people who you have a base now. Like all you need is a base, like
yeah.
Even if you only have 100 people, like if they will continue to post your shit everywhere and follow you whatever you do and stuff, then like there's always somewhere to go. Like I think that the hardest part of being a creator on the internet is just establishing enough of a base that cares deeply enough to like follow you to the next thing, which is kind of what fucked over Tom, that he had a little bit of a base, but he had already kind of lost most of his followers from Brony Curious by the time he made Rebel Pixels, and then Rebel Pixels was like such a different thing.
I still don't even know what that channel is. I looked at the videos and I'm like, he's just like talking about his computer. What is this shit?
It's half of it is like, the idea of it is that it's supposed to be helping creators, like, on the web. It's supposed to be a guidebook for internet creators kind of thing. So half of the videos are, like, motivational speeches, and the other half are hardware reviews. But because he mostly got successful through reviewing tablets, then he just kept doing tablet reviews, and so it kind of became very focused on that. But it was just that, like, the subject matter was so different, and his base was already so broken after his original channel that like it took a long time for Rebel Pixels to even pick up the steam that it has, which it's over 10,000 subs, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
But you know, like whereas for me, I went from ponies directly into anime. So anybody, it was probably out of my 70,000 subscribers, there was maybe 4,000 who cared enough to watch the anime videos. Like when
that's
I made
like
that,
good and bad. It's like, oh yay, but oh really?
I went from like averaging 40 to 70,000 views a video to averaging 2,000 to 5,000 views a video.
Fuck.
But that's the thing, that base was there, and they were still sharing the videos, and they were still watching it just because they like me, or they just happened to also be into anime, you know, and eventually it grew out of that and blew up again. So that's why I think, you know, as long as you have that core audience who cares enough to follow you to the next thing, you've always got a second chance if you can capitalize on it.
It makes me think of the tragedy of Ben, Nate, and Hippo. Because I was shocked to learn that they had old pony channels that had like 3 times as many views as the ones they have now. And when they started over, like fucking Give and Take has what, 15,000 subs, and then poor Hippo is at like 8.
Well, part of the problem there, especially in Nate and Ben's case, was that they deliberately hid it from their old subscribers. Nate
Why?
Because Nate didn't want to have the baggage of the MLP community, which in fairness...
They're just people!
In fairness, if you knew these people...
It's a human being, they can like 2 things.
Right, but he was scared that his audience would end up just being those people, and that a new one wouldn't form around it or whatever. And so he never, like, on the TBAP channel, that channel was dead for like a solid year before Ben finally put up a video like telling everyone what they had done, which incidentally that video is how he met his girlfriend.
Oh,
because she had no idea. Like, she had been a huge fan of the TBAP and then didn't know that they'd gone on to do all this other stuff until Ben put up this video like, hey, by the way, we're alive and we've been doing stuff for the last year. That's all great. Almost 2 years. So yeah, they just didn't announce it to their old fans, so that's why their base was so broken. And then
that's bizarre to me. I don't know why you would make that choice. Like, I get what you said, but like, who cares if the audience is all bronies? Let them watch my fucking anime analysis. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that's you know, my mindset is like, even if everything fails, there's always a pickup. Like, we can always keep trying. Especially if you have enough money saved up from the previous one.
When I make a Patreon exclusive video, which is for the $5 and up people, and I make like maybe 2 of these a month, like I'll do like a commentary over something or just talk about something that's going on, I always tell them, I'm making these videos just for you. Not the Patreon exclusives, but every video is just for you guys, because I could lose every subscriber except for the 100 people on Patreon, and I would still be doing this. I would still be doing this just for you.
That's why I've put out 2 videos this month that aren't even on YouTube, because it's like, as long as the patrons are there, that's all that matters. And if the patrons start complaining, that's when I'll start listening, you know? Like I put out these videos about anime soundtrack composers. It's a totally different style, and like, in the comments on the videos, there's some people who really love it, some who don't like it, but no one's complained on Patreon yet. So as long as no one complains on Patreon, those videos keep happening, you know?
Do you think that's healthy, though, to be subjugated to the opinion specifically of the patrons? Like, if they complain about something, would you stop doing it?
I wouldn't stop it just because one guy complained or anything, but like,
what if it was like a guy who's giving you $100 a video? Would you be like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do that?
No one does that, and when they do, I don't trust them. Because there's nothing, like, dude, if you're going to be a patron, like, at maximum give $30, and even
No, give me 50. There's a lot of 50s, and I really like those people.
I don't have any, I had, like, the highest pledge I ever had that was consistent is this woman named Anna Esther Veloz, who has a couple of YouTube videos that are pretty alright, and she's like an animator. And she used to be a patron to like everyone in the PCP for like really high amounts. And she gave me like $35 a video for years.
Oh my god.
So she personally has given me like thousands of dollars.
Yo, Anna, hit me up.
But she eventually reduced it a little bit. But like, to me, that's the most you could pledge that I'll take it seriously, because I've had people.
How could you not take it seriously?
Because I've had people who pledge 100 and then immediately get declined and have to reduce it to $5. You know,
yeah.
It's like, it happens all the time, because they always think that it's going to work one way, and then it just doesn't work out the way they think it will. You know, they somehow think they're going to either have $100 to give you, or that they don't understand how Patreon works, you know, or they get declined and then they can't make it go through. And it's just like, because to me, it just inflates my numbers. Like, I don't want it to look like I make more than I do.
That's true, because then people will be less willing, like, oh, why would I give him $2? He's got 1,000. Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, well, we've gotten off into the weeds on that again. I don't remember...
I don't know where we started.
Yeah.
So Manimal, he stopped being on the Let's Play.
Yeah. Well, now we've got the Let's Play channel is kind of a free for all at this point. You've got a show with you do some with Biggs. You've got some with Patch. You've got
those have all come to an end now that I'm moving.
The Spyro series that's with random guests each time, which I think is genius.
Yeah, that's a fun idea. Since I realized. It's so hard to find a good co-host. I thought, hey, let's just let everybody be a co-host. I'll give just any random person 3 episodes to listen to me play Spyro because they can't see the screen. Yeah. So it's just kind of like an excuse to have random conversations. I've had Jess, Hippo, and Munchie from the PCP, and then I've had my brother, my real-life friend Maddie, and then my internet friend Belly. And in Spyro 2, now that Spyro 1's over, I want to branch out and get like fans and listeners and stuff, like people I don't even know. But I'm going through a vetting process to make sure that I can listen to them for an hour.
That reminds me, you once had a podcast called Anime Fights.
Yeah, let's talk about anime
which I've never actually watched. But
don't watch it.
Because I could tell from the thumbnail alone that you had not vetted the people on there and that they were a bunch of fucking idiots. What was the deal with that?
So, big fan of the Movie Fights podcast on Screen Junkies, where there's a judge, and they give you a topic like, what is the best Quentin Tarantino movie? And then the 3 contestants argue it out, and then the judge awards a point to the winner. And I thought, hey, let's do that with anime. But I'll let the fans join in, because I love my fan interaction. Yeah. So I was like, hey, send me an email if you want to join in, and you can be on the show. And surely enough, we got, 9 people in total. Actually, Baku Boys, who we talked about earlier, was on one of them, and he actually won. Just because he was the funniest. Because the idea was, it's not a serious anime fight. They're all emulating me, and they all chose to do this of their own accord. They're trying to do the Mumkey memes of, World War II is an anime that had over 6 million people who didn't like it, and that kind of shit. But most of them weren't very good at doing Mumkey.
No.
So the show...
Not everyone's a comedian.
No.
Especially not in a very specific personal style of one comedian that you're trying to emulate.
And it doesn't help that most of them are like 15 and 16-year-old guys.
Right.
Like recording it kind of quietly upstairs, hoping that their parents don't hear what they're saying.
Doing the soft scream.
Yeah.
And that's why Death Note is the best anime of all time.
So if you want to cringe really hard for hours at a time, I'd say go watch the old anime fights. Full body cringe. I accidentally clicked on one, and even just hearing my introduction, I had to get out of there. Like, even I cringed at myself.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible.
Even the shitpost master himself can't sit through that level.
I've never watched them.
Oh, they just uploaded immediately after.
They were live streams, so there was a live audience the whole time, so I didn't have to watch it.
Incredible. I love that you just have it all this time. You still have never even bothered.
No, I'm not going to take them down. I'm sure somebody can get something out of it. Maybe it's like the Digibro idea of never take anything down so they can see how I've grown.
Yeah.
So that's just like...
I mean, granted,
there's a dark corner of my channel.
There is a bunch of stuff that's set to private on my old blog that I don't know if I would... Like, I mean, it's too late to go back and make it all public now, but, like, I don't know if I still would have hidden it today. I just know that I did at the time because I was like, well, here's a lot of tracks that need to be covered, Like, let's not let all this exist for too much longer.
What were the sorts of things on there?
Otaku sexuality analysis.
That seems like something you would do today.
I would, but not in the same way. You know?
How did you do it? Did
It's
you?
just that the way I wrote back then.
Was the hentai samurai giving you advice?
Me and the hentai samurai go way back.
Yeah, I imagine.
Hentai samurai.
He's like a father figure to you.
He's grown a lot as an artist over the last decade.
With his whole one video.
Mm-hmm. He did have some guest posts actually on my old blog. They were published under my name. I never. You know, back then
he was shy back then.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
He didn't want anybody to know his real name, Hentai Samurai.
He didn't have the mask yet. He didn't have the underwear mask, so he didn't want to be public without the mask. Anyway, oh God, I don't remember what we were saying again. This has been a series of me forgetting what the fuck we were talking about.
You're the navigator, so you figure it out because I don't remember either.
Well, all right. Let me think of some more shit to ask you about. We've mostly been focused on your sort of YouTube career, but it seems like that's kind of dominated your life.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Tell us about what you were trying to do in college, because we know you almost became a teacher.
Yep.
Well into this was only recently that you finally abandoned this.
This terrible dream.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was really good at in high school was English. I was in all the advanced English classes. All my papers I would write in like 5 hours and then get an A on, where everybody else would be like, oh, it's so hard to write a 3-page paper because I'm a retarded 17-year-old.
I always went way over the word.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Because it's like easy and fun to like put out an argument, or like
all I wanted them to do was like every day I was like, when are we gonna get another written assignment? Like, if that was all this class was, school would be amazing.
The best class I've taken in my life was creative writing in high school. But that's partly because all my friends got into it too, and it was just like the constant harassment hour. There's that one writing exercise where everybody like writes a paragraph of a story and then you pass it behind you.
Oh no.
And this motherfucker, one of my good buddies, his name was Zach. So Zach would ruin every single story with this character he created called Earthquake Man, and he wouldn't even read what had been happening. He would just write down, and then Earthquake Man killed everybody in the world with an earthquake. And my poor buddy Chum was sitting behind him, so he would have to pick up the pieces of this destroyed world time and time again and try to resurrect everybody who had been killed by Earthquake Man.
That's pretty good.
So that was like shit posting the class. We ruined it for everybody, and it was tons of fun. It
sounds like your whole life has been shit posting the life.
It was fun. I loved that class. So yeah, in college I was like, okay, I guess I'll major in English. I knew there were no prospects in that. I knew if I was going to be an author, I don't need to major in English to do that. I just need to write a book. So it got to the point in my sophomore year when I realized, well, if I'm really doing this English major, my only option is to be a teacher. That's the only career path that this leads to, as far as I know. So I studied to be a teacher. I kind of liked it. Doing I did student teaching a little bit. I would go into classrooms and give lessons and stuff. I thought it was okay. I've always liked kids. I've always either gotten along with people who were younger than me or way older than me. I typically don't hang out with people my own age.
Not my own age or like 1 year older, but anybody, well, because younger people always look up to me, and I think it's you probably for the same reason. We have a younger brother, and like who's pretty close, and so I think it's like you have a certain nurturing tendency towards younger people. And like whenever all growing up, I always most of my friends were usually just Victor's friends, like people who he had around who would also treat me like I was their big brother as well.
And Manimal was 2 years older than me, so that was like perfect for me, like hanging out with all the older kids. Lightning Long Johnson the same. Cobb even was a year older than me in school. Didn't have a whole lot of friends in my own grade, but that's fine. But so yeah, I like people. Typically, I get along better with those who are younger and those who are older. So I thought teaching was going to be okay, and then I started doing Mumkey, and I was like, oh, well, as soon as this is found, teaching's over.
Right.
Because they're not letting me into school.
Yeah.
So I was really disheartened by that, thinking, well, I just wasted 4 years of my life at this college, and then I make a couple videos, and now I'm fucked. Like, you make one ephebiophile video, and it's game over when it comes to teaching. As soon as they find it, it's game over. So when they announced, I went to the meeting for the big student teaching thing, the thing that you do for like a whole semester, like half a year. and just hearing all the shit they were saying and all the papers I had to fill out and all this garbage, I thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
People have told me all the time that like people watch my videos and be like, you'd be a great teacher. Why don't you teach at university? I'm like, because do you know what teachers have to do? Yeah. It's not just get up in front of a class and be eloquent for an hour. It's like work constantly and tirelessly for no money.
Right.
You know?
It's a lot of unpaid overtime that people don't understand. I appreciate teachers infinitely more than ever because I've gone through the whole process of what it's like being one. And I also now know which teachers really sucked and why they sucked at their job. So I have a newfound respect for it, but I just don't think I can do it. And now I'm kind of in this weird limbo of I don't have a job. I can't get a job right now because I'm in the middle of moving. And I don't know what to do with my career path. I have a useless English degree, as Avenue Q would say. What do you do with a BA in English? So I'm in that position, and I have this beacon light reaching out to me saying, Mumkey, do Mumkey as a job, and that's just crazy.
Right.
But also,
and you've got these PCP guys who, when I found you, you were very like, oh, this YouTube's not a job.
I still feel that way.
You kind of had like you kind of had a chip on your shoulder about it though. When I first talked to you, that you were like,
oh, it's just pure jealousy. The fact that you can do this as a job makes me sick because I want to.
But then, as you became friends with the PCP, it started seeming like you were taking your Patreon more and more seriously, and that it became like once you knew other guys who were doing it, it's like, well, fuck. If Digi's making all this money, why am I not making all this money?
And I was gonna say, right now I'm sitting at 19,000 subscribers. Which, thank you gave me 1,000 in a day from your big famous video. But if I'm making $600 a month at 19,000 subs, in my mind, like, just you double the subs, you double the money. And I see that correlation like in my head. Yeah. So I'm just at like the cusp of becoming like a D-list YouTube celebrity. Yeah. And I think if I do get this to continue to grow, maybe it will sustain me as an actual career. But that's so unknown.
That's something I'm glad you thought of it that way, because I had too, and I think a lot of people don't. They don't think about the fact that like every small amount of growth on YouTube is exactly that much to your paycheck. Mm-hmm. And like if you like, a lot of people are thinking like, man, I'm really wallowing in this like 10K realm or whatever. And then you don't even think about the fact that like they're thinking, everyone's eyes is on the horizon. Like everyone's thinking, man, I have to hit 100,000 before this will be serious. But if you just double your subs, you double your money. Mm-hmm. Like almost if it's correlating to the view counts. And so people don't realize that like even making a small step, it all affects what you're making. It's always a constant incline, and everyone's so worried about catching the brass ring at the top that they're not thinking about how every step up the ladder is also an improvement.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand that if you have 40,000 subs, you could be living very comfortably. Like that could be your full-time job at 40,000 subs. If you just did Digibro After Dark, I think you'd still make a decent amount of money.
If I came out tomorrow and said Digibro's canceled, it's all After Dark now,
your Patreon would be like 10% of what it is today.
It would plummet.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have to pay Devu, and I wouldn't have to pay as much in taxes. I think because I've had a lot of patrons tell me I will patron After Dark. Mm-hmm. I've had lots of people tell me like, I don't care about the main channel, I just care about After Dark. Like I just follow you as a person. So if I canceled Digibro, first of all, I wouldn't lose all the patrons immediately.
No.
Second of all, I'd probably put more effort into After Dark because I wouldn't have to worry about the main channel. So I think
I would argue that some of the big 20-30 minute vlogs you do on there about even things in anime
more interesting than the
I like those more than your normal videos.
The reason I do so much After Dark is that I legitimately love it.
Yeah.
It's just harder for me to charge for it because it's hard to draw the line. It's hard to say like what's the difference between an After Dark video that is patronable and one that's not, because I also love stuff like Insomnia Analysis, which is like an hour of me doing random weird shit that a lot of people will not sit through. But to me, that would be like the most patronable video. Like if there was a channel doing all stuff like that, I'd be patron to it. But like, so it's hard to draw the line of like what's worth it and what's not. So I just make it very clear. If it's a main channel video, it's patron. If it's not, it's not. Unless it's like a podcast that's on the main channel or something. But like, Yeah, if I went full After Dark, I think I could still make a few $100s on Patreon. I'd still make enough ad revenue to kind of... It would just be where I was as a pony guy. Mm-hmm. Like, I could probably make $300 a video, put out 4 videos a month. Well, I guess
get all that ad revenue,
I guess
too.
I'd probably change the... I don't know how I'd do per video on After Dark.
I don't think you should. I think After Dark would be...
I would do it per week.
I think it has to be per month.
You can do what Tom Oliver was doing for a long time was just he would make a patron post every week, so it was set as per like his because you can just write in per whatever you know. So he wrote in per week, and then he would just collect all his videos from all his different channels.
That's a smart idea.
So if
I wish I could do that, but they won't let me change it now that I'm stuck in the month thing.
Oh yeah,
I feel like I'd be making more if I did
they
it.
Don't let you change to the other.
Nah, it's too late.
Huh.
Because I have the setting where as soon as somebody pledges the money...
They immediately get charged.
Yeah, so now I can't change anything. I'm just, like, stuck.
Huh. Yeah, I would do it per week, and I would probably make... I could probably still make over $1,000 a month on just After Dark.
Yeah, I mean, that's minimum wage, working at some
that's
fucking
what it was
McDonald's.
That's what I was making up till last year.
Yeah.
When the channel suddenly blew up. So, yeah. I encourage you to try to be a YouTuber because I think you're cut out for it in a way that not a lot of other people are, you know?
Then I'm just worried about the benefits and what if I get sick? Like, insurance is a lot of money, and luckily I do have until, like, I'm 26 to get off my parents' insurance.
Well, Trump's probably going to change
that. No, that's one thing he's going to keep.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he said he's going to keep that.
Well.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Maybe we're in luck. Ugh, that Trump guy, pretty cool guy.
No, I don't want to talk about Trump on here. Do I have to?
No, you don't have to. I want us to go for another hour, but I kind of have to like excrete everything from every orifice of my body. You want to put this on hold for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll
remember to edit out the shitting part.
Yeah. We will. Okay, we're back from the crapper.
We're back from evacuating those bowels. Yeah. Never been more empty.
So, Mumkey, I wanted to ask you some stuff about your influences.
Okay.
Not only in a few different ways. Like, for instance, that we both seem to have the same stance on putting out lots of content and sort of being self-motivated and stuff. And when I brought up Quentin Tarantino, you immediately had a quote from him that you cited. Right. So, like, were you influenced by him and his ethos, or like who kind of inspired you to work the way you do?
Well, to say about the Quentin Tarantino quote, it's because that's a meme on TV, the 4chan board, where like they use it, I guess, to make fun of him, even though his films are great. So I don't know what the joke is.
Even though that phrase makes, perfect sense. Yeah. Like it's, if anything, it's bragging right. I would think.
I think they interpret it as being just extremely pretentious. But if anybody has earned being pretentious, it's Quentin Tarantino, because his movies are great. So what was the question?
Who sort of influenced your work ethic? Where did you get the idea to work the way you do?
Oh, that's just something I've had since I was born. But God, like even in elementary school, I was just chugging along, doing those multiplication tables. I just have to keep working all the time, or else I guess I fall into depression. I don't know. It's an innate drive, like there's an inner locomotive that just keeps chugging along, and I can sometimes hear it just in my head.
I've previously described my own depression as like it's a base level. Like on a basic level, you're always depressed, and everything else is just stuff you're stacking on top of that. And so you need it because as soon as it's not there, you fall back to the basic level. And would you say that your work is like that? Like when you're not making work, you're depressed, or when you're not like doing something, talking to somebody, but then so like you have to do it to keep away from the depression?
I think that's a perfect summation, because I hardly ever feel suicidal or like depressed to a point where it like physically hurts when I'm working on a video or writing a script, or I guess watching Survivor, but that's not really working.
Well, I think that's what I mean by like doing something,
right?
You know, like something that makes you that brings something out of you, that makes it so you're not just sitting around thinking about depression.
And for those of you at home who don't relate to this, you're probably thinking, well, it's as simple as just if you don't want to feel depressed, go do a thing. And that logically makes sense.
Right.
But once you fall into the trap, like you get convinced that you don't feel like doing anything at all. And I think there's all these movies I want to watch, but I don't really feel like watching them.
The one of the most resonant criticisms I ever got was from my my mentor Ghost Lightning, where I was telling him about something I wanted to make. Like, I was kind of bragging about something that I had an idea for, but I hadn't actually made it, so why am I bragging?
Good job, Manimal.
Yeah.
Good job, Cobb.
Yeah, this is me before YouTube, back when I was an anime blogger. So I'm bragging about some idea I have, and he's like, why don't you work on that thing? I think I was telling him I was like upset or something. He was like, why don't you work on that thing you were talking about? And I was like, I'm not in the mood. And he said, You have a real problem with always letting these moods control you, and I never thought about it as something you had power over. That like you have to try to escape the mood, because the mood, if you just let yourself be governed by moods, you'll never do anything. You'll just be like, well, I'm depressed, I'm not in the mood to do this or that. So it's always a fight. Like when I get out of that, it's not because I'm like just able to change it. It's like it takes a real like effort to like examine what you're doing and be like, no, I have to make a video today. Like, this has to happen, or else I'm fucked. So do you think there's a lot of that, like just trying to keep to your schedule and stuff? Is that what like motivates you to help get you out of those funks?
Yeah, it definitely prevents them from occurring in the first place. It's kind of, have you seen the movie Neverending Story?
Not
so there's something called the swamps of sadness, where if you're standing in it and you're feeling sad, you'll keep sinking, but if you have positive thoughts, you can keep going through. And it's the saddest part of the movie because the horse drowns to death in the swamp. It's like a kid's movie. It's very intense, and the kid is screaming and crying. But I think depression in a way is like the swamps of sadness, where if you just think of other things, you can keep walking through the muck. But once you start sinking, it's hard to get back out. Yeah. So having the schedule is like my version of keep on walking through the swamp.
Yeah. So how much, like, what are you trying to communicate in your videos? Because is your main motivation just to be funny and to be entertaining for people? Because like for me, so much of it comes from a desire to be understood, to like the reason I have to make these analysis videos is that if I go out there and I say K-on's the greatest anime of all time or something, people are just going to look at me like I'm insane unless I justify it, So to me, so much of my videos is like justifying these opinions I have so that people will understand where I'm coming from. But your videos deliberately obfuscate your opinions to such an extent that there's lots of people who just don't understand what your opinions actually are on most things. Mm-hmm. Does that ever bother you at all, or is it a problem at all that you have cultivated a character of just not being able to be understood?
The last couple PCPs I've been on, I just shit posted. Yeah. And I hope people appreciated them, because otherwise it's got to be terrible listening to me talk. We did one like, how did you lose your virginity story, and I just described the plot of Moonlight.
Exactly.
So and that's because I think that me as a person, as a human being, I don't find myself interesting, and I don't think other people would if I let myself go that much. So I'm not that interested. I'd rather just be Mumkey. I don't want to be me, because it's fun. Who cares? Yeah. I don't think anybody should care.
Do you feel like it backfires at all, though, when, like, for instance, in the PCP chat, I've described you as the boy who cried wolf, because anytime you try to be sincere, nobody can tell, because you've gone so far into presenting an insincere character.
I mean, I'm okay with that. It's fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me that much.
You don't find it like frustrating when people can't tell when you're trying to be real about something?
Well, I think if it's a main video like the Elliot Rodger one, I don't think very many people think I was being ironic in that one.
Yeah, you you use a very different tone and everything.
And there's not really any jokes in that video, so
yeah, it's pretty clearly straightforward.
Yeah, and then like the Countdown to Suicide channel, I don't shitpost on there ever, other than my drunken live streams, but that's just fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about that channel so much, is that I can always kind of trust it. Mm-hmm. Like, it always feels like, okay, I think that's why, like, that was kind of the key for me understanding you enough to feel like that we could be friends, because if all you did was shitpost constantly, then I just wouldn't even be able to have a conversation with you.
Right.
But I was like, well, there's clearly like a guy in there somewhere.
It's just a super boring guy who needs to always be ironic or satirical in order to be interesting, because you ask me, like, what do I do on a daily basis? I do what everybody else does. I jerk off once, I sit there, I watch TV, then I make videos. And only the videos part should be, like, anybody should care about. Nobody should care about what I, as a human being, do. I'm not saying that, like, I want to protect myself, or like, oh, don't look at me, don't look behind the curtain. But because it's just genuinely uninteresting, right?
I mean, I find the Countdown to Suicide videos interesting, but... I mean, do you not think that if you made, like, if you could convert the sort of what you're talking about in the Countdown to Suicide videos into main series serious content, do you think people would find that interesting?
Well, I think the depression review is the closest thing I've come to doing that, and a lot of people seemed affected by that video. In I don't know if it's a positive or negative way, but both are, I think, good.
Do you think you would consider, like, when Mumkey's anime reviews is over, are you going to bring more sincere content to the channel? Yes.
I'm going to branch out. I've got 3 different types of videos I want to make. I talked about the isms one.
Right.
But
what level of sincerity would that one be on?
That's going to be all over the place. Like, sometimes I'll be talking about how great feminism is, and then, like, I'll be shitting on atheism even though I'm an atheist. Like, just a bunch of crazy, wacky, fun stuff.
Because I think that would be it's somewhere in between me and you is where Endless Jess is, where you've been, like, nonstop inauthentic, and I've been nonstop authentic, because I have such a difficult time making a video, because I've had times before where I make something like your style, and then people will message me like, well, what's your actual opinion? Like, people are so invested in, like, what I think about stuff that they're like, oh, well, it sucks that we don't get to know, and then I'll have to, like, make a follow-up vlog explaining my actual opinion about something. And Jesse kind of falls in the middle, where he'll represent both in the same video.
Yeah.
And that's why his so much of his audience can't parse the difference, and that's why there's so many misunderstandings around them, because it seems to be difficult. Do you think that you'll run into this issue, and would it bother you even if it did? Like, does it bother you to not be understood in your intentions?
No, because it's so rare that it's even relevant to, like, I can't think of one instance where I was being super sincere in a video and that people wrote it off as being sarcastic or disingenuous.
Do you think there's more of a chance of that once you mix the, like, for instance, I mean, to me this was clear, but I don't know if it would be to everyone else, that when you did your 10 anime heroes, the whole Hank Hill analysis is like a completely legitimate and great analysis of why Hank Hill is such a good character. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this seems sincere to me, but will people think this is
do you not know the story behind the Hank Hill part?
No, what's
so that's a copy pasta. Oh, okay. I didn't write that.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I was hoping more people caught on, but a lot of people just kind of praised me as, like, a great analysis of Hank Hill.
This was a great point about why he's a good character.
Now that
you've mentioned it, I feel like I've heard it years ago, like a long time ago.
It gets posted in every King of the Hill thread on TV.
I see.
I thought it was funny. Like, somebody took the time to write that, and I was like, I'm putting it in.
Well, see, now you understand that your intentions weren't understood. Everyone thinks you're an amazing analyst.
But that's a good thing. I'll take it.
Well, in that case, it worked out.
Don't tell everybody listening. Don't tell anybody that I didn't write that. I'll take the credit. It's fine.
But are you at all concerned that in the future, when you try to make more sincere content, that people won't understand?
Well, so I did something. A while ago, I did the top 5 YouTube channels that deserve more subscribers, and I don't think anybody thought that was sarcastic. I think, I explained what the channel was and why I liked it, and it's hard. Like, if there's no clear joke, then
because I know. Jesse was saying how he was you had said that you floated the idea of having Mumkey's reviews and Jimmy's reviews and making it very clear the distinction between the two.
That idea didn't last very long.
Yeah, well, just because it's less funny that way.
Yeah,
like the ambiguity makes it funnier, but it also makes it riskier.
Yeah, because you never know what you're gonna get when you click on the video. Is he actually gonna talk about the top 10 anime heroes?
But that's the thing; it relies more on the audience to understand. Mm-hmm. You know, it's that, like, it's. If you make it completely distinct, then it might feel
more
like it's
audience friendly, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's more audience friendly, but it also is less artistically interesting, you know, and that's why Jesse was so adamantly against it. Even though if he did that, it would create none of these misunderstandings would happen, you know. But he wants to put faith on the audience, and I'm wondering.
I'm surprised he is putting faith in the intelligence of his audience. He seems like he wouldn't do that.
It's that he would rather elevate them rather than stoop to them.
Okay.
That's how he sees. Well, that's kind of how he sees the whole world. It's like rather than bringing my stuff down to your level, you have to come up to my level. Unfortunately, they won't do it because they're idiots.
Well,
but how do you feel? How much faith do you have in your audience's intelligence?
I just think it's all in the script, and if it's clear that I'm not making jokes, then like they should know I actually mean what I'm saying. You were saying it's hard to get out of those moods when you're kind of sinking in the swamp. And there's this video idea I've had for a while that I think I'm gonna do next month. Just my top 5 favorite YouTube videos, and these are the videos that I always go to when I'm feeling bad, and they never fail to make me laugh or to smile. And I was just gonna show them off and say, go watch these fucking videos. They work for me. And I don't think anybody can misinterpret that, right? Because it's so straightforward. Like, why would I waste the time giving these like reviews of random videos that make me laugh if I wasn't being serious about it?
I mean, I think, but you are putting some level of faith in the audience's intelligence there. But I think you're definitely doing enough to.
But even if they misinterpret it, I don't see really the negative. Like, if somebody watches that and thinks it's satire. Okay.
You're just not very bothered by not being understood.
That's true. Like, what the fuck? I don't care.
I don't know why. For me, it's just I can't do it. Like, the second someone misunderstands, I have to correct it. I have to make the follow-up vlog to one guy's comment that misinterpreted it, and I'm like, well, I don't want to have to type out the whole reason that this isn't the case, so let me go record a fucking 30-minute vlog. I have to pee really badly.
We'll just cut this part out.
Damn it, there was something I was going to ask you, but I forgot. I'll think about it while I pee.
That's fine. I suck at talking when you're out of the room anyway.
Make noises or something.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Fuck Cobb.
Fuck Cobb.
Better eat those chippies while you can, girl.
I've been eating them.
What the fuck?
You can't even eat
How dare you?
I'm a sneaky eater.
You sneaky girl.
Sneaky chip eater.
Fuck Cobb.
Fuck Cobb, right in the ass.
We gotta keep saying that even after I move.
Yeah.
I can't live without saying fuck Cobb.
We'll walk around the house and sing that.
I just want to walk into a room and say it and walk out.
Fuck Cobb.
Fuck Cobb.
And I'll go, fuck Cobb.
Yeah,
Just
fuck
like he
Cobb.
does.
Yeah, he says it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Cobb. Fuck
Fuck
that
Cobb.
guy. Fuck Cobb.
Sorry, I'm such a leaky boy.
That's okay. I'm sure once we start drinking and we're doing a Let's Play, I'll be getting up between every episode again.
Yeah, well, we usually both are.
Yeah.
So, all right, to get back into your influences, what are your influences? Like, what are the direct influences? What is your style made of? I have a lot of guesses, but you can share some.
I mean, well, I guess in the video we talked about earlier, the Mumkey's anime reviews of Mumkey's anime reviews, I pretty much just list everybody. It's like the biggest problem in the universe. JonTron a little bit. I mean, well, I don't know. I think that I was listing like half influences and half people who everybody says I'm stealing from, but I've never actually I'm not inspired by them at all. Like Video Game Donkey. I like his videos, but I wouldn't say my style is even close to what he does in any way, other than that our names are kind of similar.
It's just having any irreverence whatsoever, everyone gets compared. It's like everyone compares you to Jesse, which is a closer comparison, but his are more like actual anime reviews, and yours are like nonsensical,
and it would be
unrelated.
It's
stuff.
impossible to say that I'm inspired by him because I made 30 episodes before I even knew he was alive.
And or Demo. People compare you to Demo just
never
because
seen a
you
Demo
are
video.
funny and talk about anime, and there's no other connection there,
Really?
I promise. If we watched some of his videos, you'd be like, why do people compare me to this? This is nothing like my style.
Yeah.
You both did a video on Boku no Pico. That's
okay.
There you go. That's it.
I think somebody said he also did a Bunai Sisters, but I was too afraid to watch it because I didn't want to steal his jokes on accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know what my comedy influences are.
You've been quoting a lot of the whitest kids you know.
Sure.
I would imagine that was an influence.
Yeah. I mean, I like their comedy. I don't know if it's really similar to what I do.
Well, I mean, not everything. I mean, I was influenced by whitest kids you know. It's not similar to what I do at all. A lot of just simply the gallon of PCP skit. Just that skit was a huge influence on me and Victor's sketch comedy before.
You know what? No, I'll take it back. I think Trevor Moore specifically, the leader of the Whitest Kids You Know, is a major comedy influence to me because you asked earlier what my kind of goal is with it, and the most important thing to me is to fight against any form of censorship. And I think anything that can be said, like, just exercise it and say it, even if it's ridiculous and offensive. Like, we should exercise this right of the freedom of speech. And Trevor Moore, in the first episode of Whitest Kids You Know, it ends with a music video called the Hitler Rap, where he's dressed up as Hitler and he's doing a whole rap about like the Third Reich and shit. And it's like, it's really funny. And a lot of people would say you shouldn't be able to do that.
I know they got in trouble once because they had a music video that was an instructional guide to children on how to get rid of their fathers by framing them for pedophilia.
Yeah, it's called Get a New Daddy. I know every word.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of the best skits, and
Right.
It got them in real trouble because people were like, you can't do this, because what if kids actually take it seriously?
Police will take the old one away in a caddy. You can get a new daddy, get a new mommy, new brother, new sister, a new house, a new mommy. So at that point, he'd ruined his entire family and was getting adopted into a new one.
So is there any other... Who else would you say is a big influence on your comedic style or your approach to comedy?
I don't know.
Shaped the young mind of Mumkey.
Everybody knows when I was 11... Or, no, even younger. When I was in elementary school, I loved Bobo 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 Bo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a satire, and that's what I'm kind of going for. And I liked how random and funny it was. And I get really meta a lot, and that's a very meta show. Don Patch is actively trying to become the main character of the show all the time, and he says it. He's like, I want to be the main character. So, yeah, I guess I'm influenced by Bobo Bo and how meta it is and all that shit.
So, I know you're big into film.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've always had, like when it comes to people doing criticism on a more serious level, like with Mumkey's anime reviews, it's obvious that they're all sort of irreverent and random, and it doesn't matter how much you know.
Right.
And even on like My Japanese Animes, which is more analytical, but it never tries to put the stuff into the context of anime. It's always just the show, you know. And I'm wondering, when you do film analysis or when you do film reviews with you and Erich, one of the difficulties I have with the show is that I have no context. Like, you're putting these movies into the context of film. Like, is this movie good or bad? But I don't know what movies you think are good or bad or things like that. And I'm wondering, like for instance, when I watch YMS, do you watch?
Yeah, I do.
Like, I love his top 10 of the year lists because they give you such a clear picture of his taste that anything he says about a movie, you can just think about his top 10s and you're like, well, of course you wouldn't like a superhero movie, you know, because it's just completely outside your genre, you know. So if you started doing movie reviews, like, I'm curious, like, what context do you have for films, and like how many have you seen? How much do you how integrated into the medium are you, and would you present this in your future videos?
I think outside of just giving my hot take with Erich, I wouldn't want to do film reviews because I mean I'm not that knowledgeable in the field, and I don't really have like an established criteria of what makes a good movie or a bad movie. I just, if I see a movie and I like it, I'll say, hey, here's why, and if you like these things, you'll like it too. It's so I wouldn't say it's a deep analysis. Like I understand why you're frustrated when you watch it.
It's not so much that I'm frustrated as that, like, I know you seem to care more about film than other mediums, but it's difficult to tell like how much you care. And I'm like is it like me with anime where I have to see everything and know everything, or is it just like I like going to the movies every week, you know?
It's probably more the second one. I like going to the movies more than probably 90% of people.
Is there any like is there any stuff that you're really passionately that you follow, like that you like, not necessarily a medium, but it could just be I know you're really big into Survivor. Like how like what's your relationship with that kind of stuff? If you had to put together a top 10 list of shit Mumkey cares about, what would be on that top 10 list?
Oh my god. So my prog music, your Arions, your Dream Theaters, your Spock's Beards, your Transatlantics. I spend most of my time with that. Podcasts. Like, the biggest problem the Dick Show, the Flophouse, that kind of stuff. Those are the main ones
I've
I
never
listen
heard
to.
of the Flophouse.
It,
What's
it's
that about?
the 2 of the 3 guys are writers for the Daily Show, so they're pretty funny. I mean, most of the time, and they just watched a bad movie and they talk about it.
Okay.
And I wouldn't recommend it. I just know that I like it.
Okay. That's an interesting...
Yeah. Well, because I don't recommend everything that I like, because I know why I like it, and I wouldn't expect other people to like it for the same reason. So yeah, we have the music, the podcast. I like watching movies, probably more than watching, I guess, like anime or TV. Like, I'd rather just watch a movie. But there are a lot of TV shows I'm really passionate about. Like, I was huge into Breaking Bad. Now I'm big into Fargo and Better Call Saul. Survivor, obviously. All I do these days is pretty much watch old Survivor seasons, like, just binge them all day when I'm not working on stuff.
You're big into, like, Big Brother, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go audition for Big Brother in like a week. So, wish me luck. If I disappear and stop making videos, it's because I'm on TV. Go turn it on, Channel 8.
I was really fascinated by your attachment to, like, reality TV, which most people on the internet completely shit
Because
on, have no interest in.
people don't understand. Because I think the problem is they think it's all on the same level of, like, The Bachelor, which
Right.
I think most people watch because it's shit.
Yeah.
But Survivor it's like a completely different genre. I wouldn't even lump it in with reality TV like that. They think it's all like your Real Housewives bullshit, but it's totally not.
Yeah. I mean, Survivor was kind of the original and the best kind of thing.
Survivor is by far the best.
Yeah, like
for
way
sure.
more productive. I mean, I've seen a lot of it because my mom's a huge Survivor fan, and like, yeah, the level of production is way above all the other ones, but it's still not real. Like,
What do you mean by not real?
Like, a
do
lot
you
of
think
it-
it's scripted?
not scripted, but there's a lot of staging. There's a lot of, like, when behind the scenes, the magic's kind of gone, where it's like...
But it's still a competition at its heart. Like, it's no different from a game of baseball. There's a lot of things that are organized, but it's still a game.
It's about they put together a good narrative out of it,
Sure. There's a lot of editing, but...
It's just not real in the sense of, like, oh, this is all, like, exactly what it's like for them.
Well,
it's
sure,
like,
it's because...
There's like, 40 stagehands immediately
Right.
off camera at any given time.
The problem is they have to edit 3 days of footage into a 40-minute narrative, so sometimes in the editing room, you have no choice. If you want to have a cohesive narrative, you have to do things like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still a real game that's being played, and you're watching, like, these Don Brackens manipulate people and become the king of the island, and it's really, really interesting to me, and I love watching the strategy talk. I don't care so much for the competitions. I don't care for, like, the petty fights over stupid shit. I like to watch those strategic masterminds, the puppet masters, who rise and use their intellect to just rule over everybody else and win the game, and that's why I love it.
There was a great quote from Dick Masterson. I don't remember exactly what he said or how he phrased it, but it was on a recent podcast where he was talking about people complaining that the show is like just using gossip and like trying to like, oh, it's all gossip. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I have an hour of narrative content with a gigantic viewership every week, that we've spun a human drama that's deeply interesting to lots of people that happens to be based in reality. And I was like, yeah, like that's why I'm watching the Dick Show, is like, I want the goss, I want the drama, because it is deeply interesting to see this like character portrait of Maddox as this man whose whole identity is shifting in the eyes of people to like recognize him in a different way.
It's so, if this was all scripted, it would be like, oh, whatever, it's just another
Yeah.
drama. But the fact that it's actually happening in real life is what makes the whole drama of The Biggest Problem so great.
And it would be so like people are saying like, oh, you're just taking advantage of the goss, but it's like, you need someone who can spin that and make it interesting. And Dick's willingness to withhold so much information and dish it out at just the right moments and to keep finding ways to spin it and to get more people involved, like, he's managing it perfectly. And that's why it's such a good show.
It's great.
Like, if the exact same thing happened with me, I would have made a 5-hour podcast explaining everything
And then that's
the
it.
next day.
Yeah.
Like, I would have laid out every single thing that happened between me and Maddox, and the show would have been over. And Dick, looked at it and went, this can be a story. And the fact that it Maddox keeps doing things to make it keep going is why it remains that interesting.
Even on the first episode of the Dick Show, like we're all anxiously waiting to hear what happened, and he doesn't even like really mention it until the last 10 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and there it is. Like he knows how to hold it
tell
back.
A story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know you've said that you've kind of fallen out with the Dick Show because it's just too much.
It used to be like an hour long, and now it's like 2.5 hours long.
Well, the funny thing about it is that he was saying that like it's that long because of the fact that people are paying for it, and he's like, I want to give them a lot, you know, like people are paying all this money to get this big chunk of show every week, and like. On one hand, I appreciate it. But on the other hand, if I am at all busy that week, I am not going to be able to make I mostly watch it in like 7-hour marathons when I find when I find the chance and I watch it. I have the video version.
Oh, cool.
So I'll sit back on the couch and just like drink beer and watch it all day when I finally catch up.
Yeah, that's the problem I'm into right
difficult
now.
to keep
Is
up
that
to.
I'm like 3 episodes behind, so it's going to take me 7 hours to catch up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. But I skipped 2 episodes and jumped into the Mad Cucks one because I saw he was on there, and I think that's a great idea to have a straight up parody of Maddox just there on the show.
And they did a recording of a full
biggest problem
episode, which I'm greatly looking forward to.
Can't wait for that.
Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about other creators that our audience might not follow, but it's kind of integral to how like why I wanted to contact you is that you knew these guys, you know, stuff like that. Because like in the PCP, me and Jesse and who else? Me and Jesse in particular were really big fans of Biggest Problem, so we'd been following all this as it was happening and stuff. And I think I was already in contact with you when the breakup happened. I think. Maybe.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I kind of messaged you like, Mumkey, do you know, like, you know, we weren't like close yet, but I was like,
I noticed
I have
you
to
in a
reach
couple
out to this guy to tell him like what's going on. Do you see this happening? You know.
Yeah, I noticed you in a couple comment sections, and then I think you probably found out that I liked it either from the Mumkey's anime reviews video or in one of my Nuzlocke. In my Nuzlocke, I talked about it too. But I think it's interesting. You asked me like, what are the 10 most important things to me, and it sort of fell apart because, like I said, me as a person, I'm not interesting. But then once we start talking about something that we both like, then we pick up the conversation again.
Well, I don't think I'm interesting, but I have interesting ways of interpreting things, and I just will always talk about them. Like if my vlogs were just literally like Digibro a day in the life, it would be a story of me making the vlog I'm making, which has been some of them. That's kind of the joke in Insomnia Analysis 3 is that I keep I hit record and then I set up the shot. So like every shot starts with me setting it up and like moving the camera, like dragging the tripod across the room and stuff.
It's very meta.
Yeah, and just because, like it's not that you are interesting; it's that you present things in an interesting way. And
which I feel like I need the cloak of Mumkey to do that because I think I took all the most interesting parts of my personality and then put them on like I increased them tenfold with the character. So now when I go back to just like talking as me, it's like, well, this is a boring version of this.
Well, we've been doing a podcast for almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's been fairly entertaining.
I would hope so.
I mean, I think there's always like it's kind of the reason I don't ever want to lose the main channel of Digibro. Like you were saying that I could probably subsist off After Dark, and that's true. But to me, like the second I do that, I'm just some guy. You know, like it's the artifice of that I am creating something that I consider to be bigger than myself is how I'm able to also have this off-air persona. Like if it was just Digibro talks about being Digibro, it would quickly become an Ouroboros and start eating itself, and it's
like a celebrity that's only famous for being famous.
Exactly. Like I want there to be that, like, the reason you're interested in me is because you got in through this other thing. You know, you had to come from somewhere. And, like, I mean, After Dark has a lot of interesting vlogs that, on their own, like you said, are better than the main channel videos.
Pretty damn good.
And are not necessarily, like, it's not all just me being me. You know, it's not all the Digibro show. But like to me, it's important that that exists. But I think that that allows for this other life to happen. That's why I'm interested in Countdown to Suicide. Like those videos wouldn't be interesting on their own, but they also are interesting. Like just because Mumkey exists and I want to know what that guy is about. I'm like, what drives someone to make this video that I thought was hilarious? Like what is there to that guy, And I think that inherently makes you interesting, even though you wouldn't be if not for that content,
Much like the Anime Fights podcast thing, I cannot watch the Countdown to Suicide videos. I don't watch them. I record them, upload them, and then I try to pretend it never happened other than reading the comments. I can't stand to hear those things I said about myself.
There's a lot of my After Dark vlogs that I can't watch back.
Yeah.
Like I will when I make it, I'll watch it back like to check to see if it's like coherent, and I'll enjoy it. But then if I go back like a week later, it's just because it's not written. All the phrasing is just so bad. Like it's every point I make is something that the more I think about it, I realize how I could have said it better, And then you listen back and it's just like, this is why no one understands you. Is because you phrase everything so fucking incoherently. And of course, I have to like watch myself be drunk and like walk around the room.
Now that's
screaming
fun. That's fun. I'll watch any video of me being drunk. I think it's always a blast.
The God of War rant where I just scream for 30 minutes. That's a little difficult to get through again.
No, that's the kind of video I would watch again, for sure.
Yeah.
The ones where I get like super serious and talk about, I've been depressed for 5 years. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Definitely can't sit through the decompression chambers.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
Particularly the last one, where it was the one that was like the
that was the good one.
one.
The one you talk shit about yourself, but also talk highly of yourself at the same time.
That one was so hard to both finish and get through. Because I had listened to it back, like, because I was so unsure of it, I kept listening back to the segments, and every time I would just be like, I can't believe I'm releasing this.
I encouraged you to release that a lot because I wanted to hear it.
And, I mean, a lot of people, I think, ultimately enjoyed it and got something out of it, but, like, there was never a point that I didn't regret it. Like, I released it, and I didn't want to hear people's reactions to it. And, like, every reaction I heard, I was just like, yeah, I knew this was coming. I knew that was coming. I don't want this to exist. I don't want to do this again. Let's not have it be this way.
Is that why that show is canceled?
Partly. I mean, that, and I just got busy after that, and, like, yeah.
You don't really need to decompress.
I lost interest in the format, Like, I'd rather just... I've done a few things that are similar to decompression chambers on my Reddit. And it's just a matter of there's a lot of stuff that I want to exist now that I don't want to be public, Have you ever had, like, I mean, you separate your channels, so surely on some level, like, Countdown to Suicide is meant to be hidden. Like...
I mean, it's in every single description of my videos when I list all my channels.
I mean, it's like, my Reddit is always listed too, but I'm not like out like if I posted something there, it's because I want to hear what like my closest fans have to say, but I don't necessarily want everyone's reaction to it.
Right.
Like I don't want this to be like, not that I'm hiding it from everybody, but that it's not meant to be seen by a wide audience. Like my book. Like, that book was 6 years old.
Great book.
And written, like, it was written by a different me. And if I released that on After Dark, I just don't want to have to read people, like, criticizing the book as if I just wrote it. It's like, no, this is an ancient piece of work that barely is related to me anymore. I just wanted it to exist out there. And as long as a few people can get something out of it, that's fine, Like, so do you think that you have any kind of inclination to, like, release stuff that is deliberately not for the public?
Not really. I think if for some bizarre reason Mumkey's Countdown to Suicide blew up and it had like 500,000 subs and it was my biggest channel, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I guess people like this.
I mean, I'd accept that. I think any of us would accept that.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I wasn't trying to hide this. I don't care if people see it. I mean, I don't try to make things that I don't want like thousands of people to see.
I mean, you seem to be when you were a little upset when all the normies came to the channel after I shouted it out on PCB.
That's mostly a meme.
Okay.
Yeah, normies get the fuck out.
Yeah. But your fans are always always mad when you get more.
Yeah,
get more
and
fans.
they're not being sarcastic, most of them. I think
I
they
don't
actually
think so.
want the normies to get the fuck
Yeah.
out. But it's not like I'm gonna change my content style because there's more people watching it. Like
Right.
they can just choose that it's too edgy for them and they can leave.
Yeah.
That's the natural flow of things.
All right. Well, I've run through most of the questions I had thought of, but that was a good 45 minutes. We still need another 15 minutes of content.
Does that include all the times we weren't recording because we were in the bathroom and stuff?
Yeah, it was only like 10 minutes that
Okay.
we were short on.
Well, we don't have to go to 3 hours. I mean, it's no big deal to me.
Well, is there anything else you'd want people to understand about you or anything? Anything else you would say about your content, where it's going, why it exists?
I could talk, I guess, about some of my ideas for the future things on Mumkey Jones, because
Yeah, go ahead.
some people seem a little cautious about me saying Mumkey's anime reviews is ending. They're like, "Oh God, no! I have to unpledge my patron. He's gonna stop making videos." It's not true at all. I still want to make the same exact thing, only just drop the joke about anime and drop all the Uncle Alex jokes. Because it really has been as fleshed out as much as I think as it can be.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get away from that. So some ideas I have, or I said the top 10 isms thing. I want to do some serious videos, like my top 5 videos that are my favorite on YouTube. And then other things I want to do, I think it'd be fun if I, like, every now and then did do another anime review of, like, an anime, but I just don't call it that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, a Soul Eater, and then instead of Mumkey's anime reviews, it will say Mumkey Jones.
Right.
I think that should be like the new subtitle. And I also want to do a series called Mumkey 101, where the title of the video is like a big question, and then I explore the question and try to answer it. And some examples I have are, can women be forever alone? And I would go through subreddits of like forever alone women versus.
But yeah, you posted some screenshots for that,
Yeah.
which were hilarious.
Yeah.
Because they were so fucking.
Like I'm gonna compare the difference between what the forever alone women sub is and what the like normal forever alone one is,
Yeah.
and then like compare that to the incels who are actually forever alone.
Yeah.
So just exploring questions like that and having fun. Another one I have, which you and me, Digi, we recorded a podcast last
Yeah.
night. I don't know if that'll be out yet or when it's coming out.
I don't know.
If it's going on my channel, it probably won't be out until like the end of March.
Right.
But another question I want to try to answer is, do Muslims deserve rights? Which is, it seems like a joke question, but then when you get into the
It's
thick of it,
surprisingly, yeah, there's a lot to be said on the subject.
obviously they deserve human rights, but then
Right.
when you get down to the nitty gritty of, you find out that Subways, some of them are banning all pork products now to adhere to their Muslim customers. Like, is that a right that they deserve because of their imaginary friend? I think not.
Well, I mean, if it's good for business for Subway to do it, then of course they should do it.
Yeah, but then you're like the poor white guy who lives in the newly enriched community who can no longer get bacon on his sub. Like, is that fair for him? Just because of this imaginary friend bullshit?
Go to another restaurant.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Move out of the fucking Muslim town you're living
So
in.
I'm gonna do some research on that and see how many communities are being culturally enriched and all the rights that are being changed. So more controversial stuff that'll make
Yeah.
me lose thousands of subs every upload.
Well, I love that you're taking that even-handed of approach of like everyone gets shit on.
Everybody.
No one's safe.
Even me,
You know,
especially me.
The Christians aren't safe. The
No.
Muslims aren't safe. The Jews aren't safe.
And now the atheists aren't safe. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to the Atheism Plus subreddit and just
Oh, you all think you know so much. You just think no proof that God doesn't exist, and yet you're so convinced.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
just
That's what
just
I'm
have fun with
imagining.
it. Yeah.
And pick on some like edgy teen atheist.
Yeah, obviously lots of fedora jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Just easy stuff. Yeah, I think it's very important that I think the problem with comedy these days is that everybody is getting way too political with it,
Yeah.
but they're choosing a side.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to get political with it, attack everybody. Don't
That's
just
what-
choose one side.
I mean, that's what's so great about George Carlin is that his politics were just like
fuck everybody.
all of you are wrong about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the only one who makes any sense in this world. You know, which is why like if Jesse, I always compare to Carlin, and like everybody compares Louis C.K. to Carlin, but no, fuck Louis
not
C.K.
anymore. I think he used to be, but
Jesse's
not
the
anymore.
real Carlin,
Yeah.
you know, just that yeah, the attitude of like, you've all wronged me. Like, by whatever system you've all created, I'm not happy, and it's because I'm in this system, and you're all a part of this system, so you have wronged me, you know? It's sort of the mentality.
Yeah, it's important to be even-handed with your hatred.
Yeah.
Because it's not discrimination if you discriminate against every group equally.
Yeah.
It might seem like I attack like feminists and like Muslims and stuff more often, but it's just because they have more out there to make fun of.
And because they're the ones who are being more defended now.
Yeah, and they're the ones who are causing the most problems in my mind.
I mean, it's like, you know, I feel like you're trying to keep the scales from getting tipped. Like when like it's getting harder and harder to make fun of Muslims right now, even though they should be made fun of just as much as Christians and anybody else.
Absolutely.
You know? Like, it should all be equal. And so the harder it gets to make fun of them, the more you have to kind of push back and go, no, it's still okay.
Got him! I want my bacon on the Subway!
Everybody still deserves this.
Yeah.
I have to pee again.
That's fine.
I'm a fucking... I've had like 4 bottles of water. I don't know why I keep drinking it this whole time.
He's a thirsty dude.
You haven't had to go at all.
Well, I went.
Working here.
Fuck sheep.
Fuck up.
Oh. Fuck
That's
off.
what I have to say to that.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
Are your balls sweaty? Mine are really sweaty.
Yeah.
God, like I'm so...
Dry as a bone.
God, my fucking balls are sweating a storm up in here. Did you leave this all in?
Your whole body's sweating.
I'm a sweaty dude.
You sweat when you like record.
Yeah, I do. I think like
I've noticed.
my whole body is just like, okay, we're in work mode, baby. Let's do it. Let's all just focus
Let's
all the
start
energy up on that
sweating.
brain. And even then, it doesn't work. I can't wait till we can get drunk and record funny Let's Plays.
I know.
Yeah,
Let's do it already.
I'm so sick of being a serious boy.
Time to be a funny boy. Are we gonna have dinner?
What would we do for dinner?
I don't know. I really want like a vegetable.
Well, if we're gonna get
So
dinner,
much
we should
fast
do it
food.
way before we.
Yeah, we should do it
drink.
immediately after this podcast,
Yeah.
before we start drinking. I've been like back and forth, like, should I drink a golden monkey now or wait till wait till we're after the podcast?
Yeah, sheep can drive us.
So all right, I guess I'll leave us out on a big question.
Okay.
Let's say
Is there
that,
like a question that you ask everybody in every interview? Or?
no, there's nothing
okay.
like that.
We should
Let's
start
say that tomorrow, Mumkey Jones, one of your videos goes viral again.
Oh shit!
And you
Do I get to pick which one?
Sure.
Okay. That's
Top 10 suicide methods. I know that's your favorite.
yeah. Let's go with that one. That's fine.
All right, top 10 suicide methods goes viral. Mumkey
Hell
Jones
yeah!
spikes up to 50,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah!
Because finally it's a video that everyone understood. They checked out the rest of your channel. They realized it was more of the same.
Which has been happening on a micro level like the last week.
Yeah.
I think mostly because of you. Because I've got an influx of comments on every video now instead of just like the most recent one, and they're all saying, "Whoa, these videos are great, dude! This whole channel's gold." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're fucking right. They are. We did it.
So let's say you're suddenly 50,000 subs.
Hell yeah!
Patreon jumps up. You're making $1,000 a month.
Fuck. That's the my goal on Patreon.
This-
says $1,000 is this is my full-time job.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that
So
happens.
you reach $1,000 a month. You get 50,000 subs. It looks like things are gonna keep growing. What does Mumkey do?
just keep on trucking along. Just do the same thing I'm doing now. I don't know how I would switch it up. I mean, if they subscribe because they like what I'm doing so far, so I just keep doing it, I guess.
Do you think you would, if you, let's say, all right, let's expand it out.
Okay.
Let's say Mumkey, this happens. You live off of Mumkey Jones for a little while.
You're goddamn right.
Mumkey explodes again. Now you're making $10,000 a month.
Fuck.
What do Mumkey do?
I mean, I don't know. What are you expecting? Like, I just...
What do you do if you have a ton of expendable income and all the time in the world to spend it? Because, like, for me,
man.
like, so much of what I've been doing is on the basis of the fact that I can make... If I if it really came down to it, I could make 2 videos in a month, and that's enough. You know, like if I'm just worried about sustaining myself, like no advancement or anything, like just paying the rent and paying the and eating, you know, he'd even make 1 video a month. You know that if Devu didn't edit it, definitely 1. You know, so $1,400, 1 video done. And so for the rest of the month, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So if Mumkey Jones is on a timetable now where you don't have to have a video every week trying to grow the channel because you're already grown. And you're making a guaranteed amount a month that is in excess of how much you need. Do you keep doing weekly videos all the time and keeping to the same schedule, or do you try to expand, or do you try to do something different from the main channel videos? Where do you put this extra money you've made?
I think I continue to do a video weekly or bi-weekly as my job, but then now that this dream is accomplished, I go back to the original dream that we all had back in the day. You had it too, of being a writer. Because at the end of the day, like that's in my mind, that's the high art. That's what I want to do.
I believe you can do it because you've written a book. So
I believe this book could be it if I just get that lucky break of somebody in the industry who wants to give it a chance, which has not happened yet. Right. And I'm losing faith.
I mean, you could, if you had the time, would you just write another, like if you were making enough money off your channel that you knew you didn't need any regular job anytime soon, are you just going to go full in on writing the book when you're not doing the channel?
Yes, absolutely. That would be my reason to wake up in the morning, is just working that motherfucking book.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great answer, because that's something that I think about a lot, because of the fact that I guess nobody thinks about this until they've made it, but when like I got to that point in November where I said, holy shit, as long as I write 4 scripts at the start of the month and give them all to Devu, I can do whatever I want for the rest of the month. I can make any dream project I've dreamed of, you know.
When's that book coming, Digi?
Yeah, good question. Well, a little thing happened where January rolled around, and I wrote out this huge schedule of all the videos I was going to make that were going to come out at certain dates in January, and I was going to expand the channel and blow it up, and then it would leave me with all this free time to work on a book, and then RadCon 2 happened, and
that destroyed
all
you.
of it went out the window, and then that
broke you as a human being.
Yeah, I've been depressed ever since. So it's yeah.
That's RadCon for you.
Yeah, it wasn't so much RadCon. Well, it was RadCon's fault. Never mind. It was RadCon's fault. What am I trying to defend here?
I don't know. Those RadCon boys, they sure do make me depressed too. So I guess
that's what I meant to say. It's not any of their fault. It's the event itself and the time that it took out of my life.
Let's just say it was Ben's fault.
Yeah, why not?
I think I want to end this interview by saying fuck Ben. So let's wrap it up so I can say fuck Ben.
Alright, subscribe to Mumkey Jones.
Hey!
Subscribe to Mumkey Jones 2,
Whoa!
where we've got a ton of shit posts coming out. like we have recorded probably 30 shit posts to be released one a day for the next month.
Yeah, you're gonna like
for the month of April, probably.
You're gonna like them.
As well as a Let's Play that'll be on your Let's Play channel, Mumkey's
Gaming Expedition. Well,
we actually did a full Nuzlocke.
We did. Last night we recorded a full Nuzlocke.
We stayed up all night drinking beer and recording a full Nuzlocke. Mumkey plays it at hyper speed.
Yeah, so it's really fast.
In one night.
Yeah.
And we did the whole thing. It was,
and then we also,
one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life.
I think so. And with Victor, you and I also did some, I guess Vincent, I should say, we did some Let's Plays too.
We recorded 3 episodes of Let's Play stuff.
Yeah, and that'll be on Digibros.
Yeah, that'll be on Digibros. And me and Mumkey are gonna start doing podcasts together.
That's right. I hope you guys like it. We didn't do as much prep as we should have, but I think it's a good pilot episode.
Yeah, and if it's successful, maybe it'll. I would really love it if we just became a podcast duo.
Yeah.
In many ways, I would rather do podcasts than anything I'm doing right now. So if
a 1 hour comedy podcast a week sounds like the dream.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous of
beautiful.
Dick.
Yeah,
Dick is what we should all aspire to be. He has a successful book and this podcast. Are you kidding me?
I was talking to Jesse about this the other day, that what I admire the most about Dick is that he's proven that you can be hugely successful on the internet without participating in the internet. which is what I think me and Jesse both dream of, is escaping the internet.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people live on the are younger than us and grew up with the internet always being there.
I mean, that was kind of me.
And like to me, like growing up, the internet was always shunned as like a place for freaks and weirdos. I mean, I was on it.
That's why I wanted to go on it.
Yeah, I've been on since 2001, but I've always seen it as like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be out there living life.
Old people are fucking dumb.
But it's ingrained in your mind, and I've got all these memories of having friends and having fun. You know that like.
What was it like?
I don't remember.
My best friend deleted my viral video.
Yeah, fucking.
I don't know what friends are.
I would have killed him for that. I would literally have fucking killed him. But yeah, like
one day my revenge will be complete.
Like when I look at Dick, I'm like, this is a dude who only interacts with the internet as much as he wants to, and otherwise is able to be a man about town and have real relationships with real
He's like
people,
the CEO of a company.
Yeah, it doesn't even need any of the money.
No.
Does not need any of the Dick Show's money. Puts it all back into the Dick Show, other than buying his house, which is obviously a huge benefit.
That's very important for the show, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can't have those goddamn apartment neighbors.
No. So, yeah, like he's definitely living the dream of like, when I look at him, I think, man, I need to get out of here because it's not a matter that I'm not successful enough to have what Dick has. I'm not living my life right, you know. So I think we should all aspire to be Dick Masterson in every different way.
Absolutely.
Everything about him, he's the perfect man. He's my idol. He's my hero.
I'd
suck his dick if he was here right now.
Back around episode 60 of Biggest Problem, I got on the Biggest Problem subreddit and I posted like a shower thought. I said, like childhood is thinking Maddox is the genius, but adulthood is realizing it's Dick. And everybody downvoted me. They thought I was wrong. Because that was back when everybody still praised Maddox and Dick was like just a derpy co-host.
That was the fucking the parabolic arc that me and Jesse both followed watching The Biggest Problem, is that in the beginning Dick seems like the asshole because he was playing up the comedy and the character.
Right.
But then because Maddox took the arguing so seriously, then Dick started taking the argument more seriously. That's when you realize, wait a minute, Dick's the only one who actually makes any sense.
Dick's the smarter one. Yeah. He's like a normal dude.
And by the time you get past like episode 50, like consistently, Dick is way blowing Maddox the fuck out, and you're just like, oh my god, Dick's my hero. Like,
I think that's a huge reason why Maddox wanted Dick off the show.
Yeah,
because he was upstaging him so much towards the end.
Well, Dick said that he was saying, you know, I feel like it's going to get this way for Rucka. He's probably in the mind state I was towards the end of the show, which is that I have to have this show end before it becomes apparent that this is just me beating up on an autistic guy.
That's all Rucka is really doing.
He was really concerned that's what it was going to turn into. That's exactly what it was. Well, everybody, that's been 3 hours of...
Man, I hope you made it through all of that shit.
Fuck. Of Mumkey's... interview.
Yeah, we did it.
Hopefully this will mean the interview series is coming back. I still have never interviewed Nate.
You haven't done Ben, have you?
I did Ben.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ben
right.
was the first one.
Yeah, because Patreon was in the title, right?
Yeah, we did Ben.
Stupid.
We did Ben, Devu, Jesse, Munchie, and who was the other one?
Psy.
No.
Okay.
And now we've done you, so it's 6 out of 10. I haven't done Mage, Tom, Nate, or...
King Critic.
I did Hippo, and I haven't done... Who's missing from that?
King Critic.
Who's missing from this?
David Clegg.
Who the fuck am I missing? I haven't done Nate, Tom, Mage. Maybe I've done 6.
You're not thinking of yourself?
Oh, yeah, myself. That's number 10. Yeah.
I mean, I would listen to...
Someone should interview me.
No, you should do a 3-hour interview with yourself. I'd watch it.
That's just Digibro After Dark.
Yeah, sure. Just upload like a 3-hour compilation of those.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to the last 3 guys sometime soon.
And girl.
And yeah.
So rude.
2 guys and a girl.
Poor Mage.
Thanks again for listening, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fuck Ben.